Okay, so today is not only my first PS5 stream in a while, but it's my first console stream in a while overall. And I guess it's sort of to celebrate the fact that I am even able to do a console stream now. Not that I really like to or try to that much, but I guess the last time I did one was a couple months ago for whatever, the end of the arc and whatever I was doing with Xbox Game Pass. So it was all on the Xbox. So I have the Xbox Series S, so I was using it for that. Then I haven't really used this much at all. Like I have a PS5, a Series S, and a Switch, and I barely use them all, ever for anything. So, and the last time I probably used the PS5 was probably on stream. I don't even remember for what. Because like most of these games you can play on PC, right? Like even The Last of Us got a PC port finally. This got a port, or I mean, this is on PC. This is on PC. This is on PC, although I never really played it much overall. This is discontinued, so I don't even know how this is still on here. Like, I wonder what would happen if I go in there. I'll actually keep it installed just to see, like, I'm breaking the space-time continuum because it's not really supposed to work. Gang Beasts is in PC, Steam. Yeah, I think most of these are. I think I had, like, some stupid multiplayer games on here, too, like Fortnite or PUBG or something, but I just deleted them to save space. And I'll always regret not doing that grounded permadeath successfully. So I should almost show off like whatever is on my PS5, but I guess that's pretty much it. Just like the fact that we're happy to be using it again. I do prefer it over the Xbox, but I guess it doesn't matter that much. Like I prefer PC over both of them, so I don't really care. Or that's the whole irony of it. Even though I'm streaming on PS5, I'm still using my PC like for my mic and capture card and all kinds of setup. So that's the dumbest thing about it. Yes, you can stream directly from a PC, or I mean from a console, but it's just not really worth it. So the volume might be a little messed up. It might be too quiet. I'm not really used to how you're supposed to do it on here, or I forget exactly where I would normally keep it. Yeah, this at least opens the door. I can do stuff on console now with this setup. I guess it wouldn't make much sense to people who watch me because it's not like I'm doing face cam, so you wouldn't know the difference. But basically the last couple of months I've been doing a different setup because I haven't had even as much time. So like I've been using my old Blue Yeti mic and I've been doing like all kinds of other things. So it's a little different of a setup. So I haven't been able to use console even if I wanted to. And they've been like shorter streams and stuff like that. So on one hand I can just fuck around and do whatever on this, but also like for my Wednesday format now that's kind of open, I might do like a little mini series of this where I go through every team in 2K and just this is like my old school permadeath gauntlet. Like I go through every team in quick match and I play until I lose, and then when they're all gone it's sort of like the series is over. What do I play on 2K? I kind of just play those kind of modes like the quick match and stuff. I don't really like my team because it becomes too much like convoluted with like power creep and bullshit, like where there's galaxy opals and pay to win stuff. But sometimes I mess around with that too. Let's see if there's something interesting actually to show off on here. I guess they made this menu kind of too small. I don't know why it's like this. Like sure you can see it big in the background, but I don't know why they made these like it's almost like a phone interface, like where everything is just like a little app or something. You know, one thing that's really dumb is the fact that I've been probably subscribed to PS Plus for a super long time. Like in the last 10 years, probably the majority of it, I have been sub to it, overall. But a lot of the time I'm not using it. Like, for example, I haven't used this in months. So anything that would have been free, like the monthly games, you have to keep going and adding it to your collection unless they change that. So because I have to do that, yeah, add to library. Because I have to do that, I've probably missed out on hundreds of games from that. So they should just add it. Like I'm still paying for the fucking thing every month, but because I'm too lazy to cancel the sub and I'm too lazy to power on my console or to do it on you can do it online, I guess, like just in a web browser. But because I'm too lazy or I forget about it, it makes you miss out on those even though you're still subscribed. So that's kind of a dumb feature to have, honestly. And I normally play 2K, like before the playoffs start. In fact, that's the only time I've been playing it lately. I guess there's really nothing to look at. That's kind of sad. I thought there'd be something cool where I could show like could I show like my whole history of all the games I have added from the PS Plus? All games recently added. How about just all games that I own, period? Star Wars The Phantom Menace. What do you mean, dude? A game, or is that actually a game? What? Oh, I didn't know this was even a thing. The way they show it makes it look like it's just a movie that it would let you watch. You play My Career and My Team. I've never really tried My Career, I don't think. Where does it show you that? Like, if you just want to see your whole library. I actually don't even know. Benefits, collections. There was like this thing when you first got it that you got to like add a whole bunch of legacy games or something together. I can't really remember. All games, but these are these my games or recently added? Yeah, the point is this is all the shit that I could have missed out on because I never fucking use it or I never even try to go on here. Holy shit, dude. Would it show that like upgrade to plus premium? Oh, that's like a new thing they must have added too. Because yeah, I could do like a gauntlet format with this too instead of Xbox Game Pass gauntlet where I go through all the games on there. I could go through all the games that I've gotten over the years on this PS Plus, whatever. I'm really confused about that actually. Where would it show you just like your own library of stuff? Purchase setting. I guess it could be like purchase history if you just show like everything that you own, maybe. This is kind of confusing. Okay, show me like. I may as well do like a little extended intro here just because it's been so long. I don't know when I even started using these things, but it was around when GTA 5 came out actually that I got my first. Oh yeah, here we go. Now you'll be able to see. Okay, we spent $75 on there. These things we got for free. Yeah, look how many months I did that, but you can see in between, look at how much fucking money you wasted in the process. We bought Dreams, that was the last time I used it, or that. Then I am still subbed because I'm too lazy to turn that shit off, but I didn't buy anything or use anything or anything. That's almost like 6 months plus that we did it. Sackboy, Tales of Iron, Meet Your Maker, Online ID Change, which I guess they would normally charge you for. Subscribe, like I'm too lazy to actually do this. Then there was the PS Now thing, which you could also do, maybe a gauntlet of that. Ark Survival Evolved, I guess was apparently on there, but that was way before I even started playing it. I mean, a lot of this you just get for the heck of it. Until You Fall, The Persistence, The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Re-Reckoning. I always wanted to play the original version of this, just because they kind of discontinued it or something, so I could get maybe a physical copy, Twitch download, 2K22. Like I'll always spend, it's kind of been a waste. Like I'll buy the game and then I'll just play it once because I don't really have time these days to even bother. So I'm paying $75 for literally one session. Like that's what I did with last year's, I think. I just played it before the playoffs to like make like my yearly predictions and stuff, and that was that. I mean, a lot of these I didn't pay for. They're just kind of there. I don't even know what the Void Heart edition is for Hollow Knight. Like they must have released some DLC at some point, but in 2K21, like as much as I've never bought a microtransaction in any of those games, I always still buy them. Last of Us Part 2, which I was really saving until I did Grounded Permadeath, right, as like my unlock condition. I can't play this even just normally until I do that for the first game. The one Permadeath run that haunts me so much that I could never do is just to beat the original game on Grounded without dying, obviously. Which I came super close to doing. In fact, I was almost in world first territory if I had done it, but Horizon Zero Dawn, I actually don't remember buying that, but wallet funding The Walking Dead complete first season, which is a waste. Oh, you know what I might have bought some of this stuff on? For some reason, I got like a PS Vita just to try it at this point. So I must have bought it on there, and it's like, oh, I'm going to play The Walking Dead on there just to try it. Right, but then I ended up not doing it, and then I ended up playing it on, actually doing it on stream later on. So this was almost like the limbo period where I almost stopped streaming. It was around 2019. So maybe you'll see some sort of overlap that would indicate that, like, because I wasn't really playing anything at this point. Red Dead Revolver, I was just trying to collect stuff, I guess. Madden NFL thing. And then obviously 2021 I kind of came back. So, I mean, I've had this pretty much since it came out, which I think was like 2020. Now I don't even remember. Oh yeah, there was something that trolled me here, like Heavy Rain the Chronicle, but I didn't actually get to use it because this kind of pissed me off too. And didn't I try to do this on stream too? Like, I wasn't able to do it because it would, what do you call it? It wouldn't work. Like, it was some region lock type of disc that I got to play the DLC. There's like one DLC for Heavy Rain that I never got to play. Man, look how much shit is actually on here. Cloudberry Kingdom, I remember when Total Biscuit played that. Good memory. Look at this, man. How much money have I given to 2K? At least back then, maybe I probably played a little bit more. This gives you like a whole history of my whole life with PlayStation. But again, for as much as I have all this stuff, I didn't actually ever use it. Like, what I almost did was I bought some of this just to make it feel like it had a purpose, right? Like, I got the PS3 bundle with GTA 5 just so I could play it when it came out, and it was like because this will show obviously every console. It doesn't have to, obviously this goes way back before this one, but the point is that I got it just to play GTA 5 because there was no PC version yet. But then I got all these. Like, I never played Dark Souls 2 really on console. I've still been playing it on, you know, when I did it on the series on it a couple years ago. Or when was it? Like, yeah, I guess in 2022 I was doing it, but I was playing it on PC. Blood Dragon I would only play on PC. Watch Dogs I would play on PC. So like none of this stuff I really would want to play on console, but I almost just got it just to make it feel like, okay, we have some. This was when I got my PS4, I guess. I always get them even close to when they come out, but then I never have a good reason to use them. 2K15. And even this, you could say there's no reason to play a 2K game on console. You could just play it on PC, but they're notoriously bad for some reason. Okay, let's stop stalling and actually get in here. But yeah, this would be my first time playing this game, and it'll be my first time playing a 2K game in basically probably a year. And I'm trying to think what else. Like, yeah, it is almost a waste of money because I'll only play it the one time in the whole year, right? Just to like give my playoff predictions and things like that. But maybe I'll make a little mini series out of it now. And it keeps showing you this every time. Kobe Bryant edition. Yeah, we get it. Yeah, the audio might be a little bit too quiet. The music should be off. Everything should be good with that. I'll basically just do the online. Oh shit, hold on. Yeah, I don't want to hear that stupid thing, but basically we would do the online quick match and do my classic format of just you play as each team until you lose, and then you have to move on to the next one. So, and that's especially fun with the historic teams, where you have to go sometimes through a couple tiers to unlock them, which is a little bit annoying. Play now online versus, what is this, quick play? This is probably just against AI, I forgot. But yeah, what else is there to recap with this? Basically, minus $75, and what else? Just the fact that, yeah, there's no reason you might think, oh, this is a good excuse to play on console, but you don't really have to, because like, oh, you could just use a controller on your PC and play it like that. But for whatever reason, the PC versions of 2K games are always notoriously bad, where people always complain about them, and it's got like a 3 out of 10 on Steam reviews. Like, even this one has negative reviews, like 3.5 out of 5, right? So there's a lot of people who are shitting on it for microtransactions and the whole business model, even on console, but for some reason they just always port them over to PC really badly. I guess that would give you a good justifiable reason to play it on here, but even then it doesn't feel like it's that important to. Tournaments, take on big competition for glory, earn prizes. I wonder what it would say if you did that. Register first $5 PSN credit, and people would be tryharding for that, but it's not the reward, it's the experience. Yeah, what else would I say about this game? Like, they've added a lot of stuff in the last couple years. Like, I remember one of the recent versions was like you could ride around on a skateboard and like go around town and stuff. Like, that's kind of cool to try to make it feel like a sim experience. It's like how Chris Smoove used to do his videos of it, like where he would drive a car to the game, but it wasn't actually in the 2K game that he was driving. It was just like he would use like other games, Test Drive Unlimited or GTA 4, and he would just show it in like an RP sense. When he put more work into his videos, that's how he became famous. But then once he become famous, they start putting less work into their videos. How ironic. But Yeah, like that is kind of a cool sim element, but I'm not sure how much people really get into that. So I normally don't play the other modes too much. Like I could check out my team just for the fuck of it, or I could check out the blacktop kind of stuff. Era's quick play, get right into action using special era screen effects and rosters. I'll just go with this, and this is probably going to be where you're not going to have historic teams. This is a very familiar setup and screen. In fact, they might never even change this or update it. 285 and 0, but you really have to wonder about that. Like, is the guy cheating? Because no matter how good you are, 285 is fucking insane. And also he's kind of cheesing, because if he's only in freshman league, how did he do that? How do you go 285 and 0 if maybe he only plays a certain amount each like little season before it resets or something? So yeah, maybe I should start with the worst teams and kind of work my way up. I'm not going to go in terms of any preference, but yeah, the main reason why I've been doing this the last couple years is just like I said, I'll normally do it before the playoffs start, and I'll give like my whatever predictions and things like that, and it's just a good excuse to talk about it. But here it's a little bit earlier than that, so I guess I'm giving more like a mid-season thoughts on it. So like, what are some good, interesting things about the season? Like Tyrese Halliburton really is having a standout year, and the Pistons had that shitty 28-game losing streak, and not like they're doing much better since then. Victor is obviously everybody's hyped about, even though the team is doing absolutely dreadful. It's like they're going to tank again. The real crime, they tanked for Duncan. Then the real crime would be not to finish what we started. So then they tank for Victor. Then they'll tank for somebody else too. Like, they get addicted to it. The Raptors kind of just gave up on their whole core. Got rid of Siakam. Got rid of OG. Everybody's hyped with OG from the Knicks. Like, oh, we went undefeated in the OG era in the last 5 games. Like when you first got him. Like, it's not that big of a deal. He's a good player, but this is like the all clown roster here with Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma. Like, they're not bad players. In fact, I especially like Kuzma, but they're a bit clownish with their behavior. I'll say that much at least. It's hard to believe Bogdanovich was part of such a bad team too. He's a good player, but see, I don't really even watch, or I wouldn't even really consider myself a fan. Like, I certainly haven't watched like a full game or anything in a super long time because I don't have time for such things, but I'll at least see highlights. Or what I especially like is just the storylines and some of the memes and stuff around the game, like some of the stupid, like DeJounte Murray just hit 2 game winners in a row. So it's like, how about another game winner, Murray? Like, how about another joke, Murray, from Joker? Like, there's so many good jokes and memes and stuff you can do. Magic are actually kind of okay, surprisingly. And Fernie was obviously Penny Hardaway's first name. Not many people maybe know that. DeAndre Ayton's a bit of a clown, that the Suns booted him out of there. Malcolm Brogdon. Like the Trailblazers actually don't even look that bad of a roster, but sometimes these little tiers can be unfair too, because like you'll go on a historic team that's actually really good, but they'll be they'll be like 90 plus or something, but they'll be in like tier 3 somehow. I forget how that works, but like the ratings here are actually pretty favorable. 88, 88, 88. Like, they're pretty high for tier 3 here. So you would only have to win 1 game as them. I'll probably just go in alphabetical order. What other notable things really happened this season, though? Or yeah, that's what people would do, is like Flight reacts to the player ratings, like, oh, this guy's too high, this guy's too low, Curry's not a 99, all these kind of stupid things. This is what people do with these games. Every year they'll bitch about it. Like, Zion is pretty good. Everybody's making fun of his body build. Julius Randle. I do think them losing RJ Barrett, though, was a big mistake. Like, I would have been more inclined to say that would be more your core. You could win a championship with that core, possibly, eventually. Brunson, Randall, and Barrett. And Anunoby is good, but I think Barrett had way more upside, so that was actually a mistake. The Kings are actually doing pretty bad. Last year they had a pretty good showing, getting Game 7 against the Warriors. Curry had to drop 50 to get past them. The bonus really should be a power forward, though. That's the weird thing about how they do this. But no, you would think they'd be very... we have Mike Bibby at home, Kevin Huerter, because of he's wearing the headband and he kind of looks like him a little bit in that picture. Or we have Klay Thompson at home. People sometimes compare him just because he's a good shooter. DeJounte Murray, the Hawks are doing pretty bad. Clint Capella is always just like around. Like he's a good player, but you almost forget about him. Something like he was on the Rockets for a while with Harden. Kobe White. Yeah, the Bulls were always so disappointing with that like this looks like a big three that should be a contender potential, like DeRozan, Levine, Vucevic, but it just they never really had that good of a season. Donovan Mitchell, the Cavs are they were actually doing okay. I think they were like 4th or 5th seed. The Mavs, I don't know who Josh Green really is. I'm a casual, and some you can tell sometimes by the pictures and stuff. Like, why is his like look like that, whereas the other ones look, or like what I mean? Like some of them are like look like real players, like in real life, and some of them look like obviously just in the game. Like Luka and Kyrie look like proper pictures. Or the interesting thing about games like this is it can always be the uncanny valley thing, because like a game like this doesn't aspire to be too, what do you call it, like over the top. It's literally just people playing a sport that you could do in real life. Maybe not at this level, obviously, but it's kind of like it'd be very easy for a game like this if they push it far enough to make it feel exactly like real life, whether it be in terms of animations or appearances, so you won't be able to tell the difference one day. And they'll just pump so much into it, because not only are they not trying to do something above and beyond real life, they're actually trying to minimize and reduce it to real life. Like they don't want it to be over the top like Space Jam or something, or even like how it feels in My Team. They want it to feel realistic, at least theoretically, to imitate the real life game. So that it's almost like a low ambition. You could look at that like with racing games or something. Like you're trying to make it where you're just driving a car like people do in real life, and just sometimes make the mechanics as close to that as possible. Brandon Ingram, sometimes you forget how good he is. CJ McCollum, although again, I don't really get the point guard element of that. So yeah, the Kings are maybe a bit of a surprise there, mainly just because you would think they'd be a little better, the confidence that they had last season. Tyrese Halliburton, obviously one of the best surprises here just this season. And it's interesting because Siakam's a weird fit on there. Rudy Gobert, the clown. There's certain players that I repeatedly clown, right? Like Draymond Green, Rudy Gobert, like even if they're part of success, like they've never, I gave like a pretty good harsh, let's just make this a just chatting fucking stream. But normally I do this during the course of a game, but just to start, let's just give a little mid-season synopsis. So Tyrese Halliburton is like putting up like numbers beyond Chris Paul. So it's like Chris Paul can't even retire in peace, because now he's going to take his spot as point god in his whole nickname, right? He's going to eclipse all of his records and stats in the modern era. So you can't even let that guy retire without clowning him. And then there was like some little Haley Con and on meme like with him. Like that could be some sort of nickname or whatever celebration for him. That stupid song. Buddy Hield, let's see. 92, oh shit, 99 offense. I think that might be a little bit too generous. But yeah, he's been pretty insane. But yeah, it's like with him and Jokic, those are two players, like they've been in the league at least for a couple years. I mean, Jokic had been in the league for a number of years, and it's like nobody really started paying attention to them. So it's not like they were immediately as good as they have become now. And so, people would think like, oh, they didn't even know who Jokic was until then he just comes on the scene and immediately wins an MVP. But he had been, toiling in obscurity in Denver for a couple years. And so the point is, people don't appreciate those years of like hard work that he must have put in, and he's averaging like 15 points or whatever. Like he's still a good, solid player, but he's developing, he's learning, he's trying. So it would be very easy for people in that situation to sort of get discouraged and not work hard and not try to improve and just play just for your paycheck and get tilted by the fact that you're on a bad team. So that's like the extra effort that goes above and beyond that. Like you don't see that part. You just see him now when he comes on the scene, and now he gets all this attention because he's an MVP and he's so good. But like, how did he get there? He didn't just come in the league like that. And so the same thing with Halliburton. Like he's been in the league for a couple years at least, but he's developed, he's worked at it. So that's very similar stories. Like people only start paying attention. I like casual fans wouldn't even know Jokic existed until a couple years ago, and then all of a sudden he's just magically this good. But it's not how it works. So this is a team that definitely, like they're committing to defense, but it's just weird because this isn't really the right era for it. As much as I'm a fan of it, I would be the type who like enjoyed those Pistons teams 04, 05, or even the Spurs team in 05, because it's like, yes, it makes scoring less common, but it makes it feel like really like meaningful when people do score, whereas now it's not like that at all. Part of that is you could just say, oh, so people are just getting more skilled, like shooters and stuff. There's no amount of defense you could play that can stop some of these long threes, like what Curry does and everything like that. But at the very least, you should still have hand checking and stuff like that. You shouldn't make it even easier. But yeah, Rudy Gobert is going to get some disproportionate amount of credit here. Just like what I said with Draymond Green, it's like he's not capable of even being the third best player on your team if you win a championship. So in 2015, when the Warriors won, Iguodala stepped up, so he was their third best player at least, right? So it would have been Steph, Clay, Iguodala, and then Draymond. And then in 2017-18, you bring in KD. So now you have KD, Steph, and Clay, and then Draymond is fourth. And then in 2022, it's like, oh, now finally he can prove his worth. You got Steph, Clay, but then Poole and Wiggins step up, and that's why they won. And so Draymond is still forgotten about. So at no point was he really even the third best player, at least on those winning efforts. People were saying he might have won Finals MVP in 2016 if they had won, even though he got his clown ass suspended there. So that was obviously a mistake. It's kind of no fun with no music, but I guess it's going to be a lot of copyright stuff. The one cool thing they actually did here that I saw, maybe this has been in other versions, but it let you kind of choose on the there's like a music menu that lets you choose which songs to put in your playlist and which ones not to. So if there's certain ones you don't want to hear, of course, I just turned all of them off because whatever copyright reasons. But yeah, this seems like a growing year for Minnesota. It was a good jump. They went from the 8th seed to the 1st seed, so that's pretty impressive. And yeah, Rudy Gobert is going to get some stupid credit for that, but the point is that you're basically able to this will be one of those learning years. Like they'll get to the second or third round, they're the 1st seed, and then they'll lose to a more experienced team, and then they'll have to grow and develop a little bit. Because even like Denver, before they won last year, they had a couple of seasons where they were a top seed or close to it, and either because of injuries or just lack of experience, it took them time to actually, so you would never expect a team like Minnesota to actually win the championship this year, right? That's a 0% chance of happening, because you always see these sort of growing pain years with these teams. They'll be the top seed, they'll be impressive, they'll be developing, but then there'll be some surprise moment in the playoffs, like where they get upset by a 5th seed or something in a couple rounds in, just because they're not used to it, or somebody has a bad series. So yeah, they're going in the right direction. Zion, nobody really trusts his health. The one prediction that I would always make, and even like this year, I'd make the same prediction, that you could always cop out and use as an excuse, as far as the Celtics are good, but I don't really trust them. And that's always justified because of how stupid they've been in the playoffs sometimes with choking away leads and stuff like that. Porzingis is kind of underrated and you kind of forget about him. But Holiday was a big mistake to give up for the Bucks. But I mean, I guess if you get Lillard, you can justify it. But if you could have somehow kept both, I don't know how that would have been possible. But he was such a huge part of when they actually won the championship, because like you already had Middleton and Giannis, so that wasn't like anything changed there. Obviously, the Nuggets have been a little bit sloppy, but it's kind of like that post-championship honeymoon type stuff where they're kind of just not giving it 100% yet. Michael Porter, I always love. He's very, in these games especially, like he's just very athletic. He's gonna just run down the court, dunk it on you. He's gonna hit threes. Like he's very versatile. Obviously, the Warriors shouldn't even be here though. Look at how they're actually doing, and it's not even because of injuries or anything. This is totally an overrated team that doesn't deserve to be here, based on maybe raw talent. I guess you could say that, but that's actually interesting. I wasn't expecting them to be there, but no, like I would predict that. I always feel like it should be opposite here, because Paul George should be the forward, this power forward, just because he's taller. But oh yeah, Zubac is injured here. You hear about an injury to do with the Clippers, and you have a heart attack, but at least it's not Kawhi. Um, like, oh, the Clippers are gonna win the championship. That would be my prediction. They'll win the West at least. Like it'll be Clippers versus Nuggets, and they'll win in like 7. And then in the East, you'll have the Celtics probably losing to somebody, like probably Celtics versus Bucks. I mean, the Bucks really should make it through. They've been a little sloppy too. Giannis calling out like the person we got to wash our clothes better and this and that became a whole meme. But yeah, basically the point is that anytime Kawhi is healthy, this was a good line comment or something my friend had, like Kawhi saying basically injuries are God's way of making it fair for everyone else. Basically, whenever he's healthy and has a good team, aside from the bubble year, which I don't even use the bubble as an excuse, but whenever he's healthy, aside from that, you're allowed like one failure in your career. That's like his LeBron James Mavericks choke moment. Like somehow he choked a 3-1. I don't get how that even happened still, but aside from that, anytime he's healthy, he pretty much should be the favorite. But like even Shaq was saying that, I think, where you get skeptical, like how many years can you say that where, oh, they will win but they didn't because, oh, there was an injury. So on one hand it's fair to say that, like, oh, you could pick the Bucks to win, but then if Giannis gets hurt, it's not your fault. Or like you pick the Nuggets, but then Jokic is injured the whole playoffs. Like you wouldn't feel like that's a bad prediction. But I guess when you feel like somebody has a history of it and is going through that every single year, like Kawhi or Anthony Davis, for example, then you can't be too surprised. So I would still say it this year. But I have said that among the last couple of years, probably several times, where either they'd win the West or they'd win the title, and they just haven't been healthy to be able to do it. So at least if I'm wrong in that sense, like they are healthy, like in the bubble, and then they still fail to win, that I can accept. But Taurean Prince is a good defensive player. Austin Reeves, everybody was getting all hyped about him, and like, what was the other guy's name? He was like Alex Caruso. Just these guys who are kind of high energy and get so much attention and everything. Cam Reddish. Yeah, I mean, again, the Lakers are one of those type of teams where they're handing out this 99 offensive rating for way too many teams. Like, who even had that? One of the tier 3 teams had it. These ratings all seem jacked out. The Heat, you can never count them out, but it's like they're always going to be competitive, but they're never going to actually win anything. Like, they're not going to win a title under the circumstance, but we have Nikola Jokic at home, Nikola Jovic. I think they made that joke like so many times. Even the commentators in games would make that reference, like somehow. I don't know what. They have nothing to do with each other, but Giannis obviously is kind of a cheese player in these kind of games. Almost makes me want to try my team, but it's always fun to play that more like when the game first comes out, because then it's not quite as cheese. Now it's going to be totally busted. Remember the good old days when there were just like 3 rarities? I remember that from like 2K14. Like there was just bronze, silver, and gold. There was no Galaxy Opal and this and that. But so even then, yes, there were microtransactions, but there wasn't as much of an emphasis on it. And not only that, but it's like, yeah, Shea has been really good too. But it was like, I got my first gold, and it was like Dwayne Wade, and that was like so good, because now it feels like, wow, that's actually a big moment, and it doesn't feel like I don't know, it just felt more meaningful. Now it feels like there's just a million different things you got to go, Galaxy Opal, Dark Matter, this and that, crazy stuff. Embiid, a lot of people like for MVP. Kelly Oubre is more like a power forward. I don't know why some of these lineups are weird. Or maybe it is because certain players are injured, so they just have to plug people in here. But Tyrese Maxey obviously is really maxing out. And Devin Booker, why is he number 1? Because he's always the number 1 option on his team. He had a crazy 50-point game. And there's a certain interpretation. I've always been like a big supporter of Devin Booker, so I've almost called how good he was going to be from early on and stuff like that. But I think Bradley Beal's having kind of a rough year. He's only averaging like 15 points or something when I saw it. Grayson Allen is a bit of a clown. Yeah, basically like with Rudy Gobert, I was saying like don't give him too much credit just because he's on a winning team now. Like he's still the same clown that he always was, and if you're going to win a title, he's going to be like your fourth best player at most, like the Draymond Green effect. But basically, Jaylen Brown's one of my favorite players, but I kind of wanted him to leave Boston because it just seems like Boston always chokes everything away. They always seem like they're going to be good and make a run, and they just never do it. Even in the finals, like they're up on the Warriors, right? And then Curry has that one big game, and then they just fall apart. Like psychologically, they were more talented than the Warriors. They were better, clearly, because the Warriors kind of had like a short window, and it was just like the emergence of Poole and Wiggins there temporarily. They kind of surprised everybody that series, but or that whole run. But there was no reason why they couldn't have won. It just psychologically they somehow don't have it. Yeah, the Sixers, but yeah, Devin Booker is one of my favorite players, maybe even my favorite. He kind of has that Luka-esque style where like he's a little bit slow and unathletic, not quite as bad. Luka is like that to the extreme, right? But he doesn't have like the flashiest game, but he's just so efficient, so good. And he had some of those games last playoffs against, again, the eventual champion Pistons Nugget. Yeah, you're not gonna say that one for a while, but against the eventual champion Nuggets, where he was just playing like literally Michael Jordan efficiency in like those first 4 games, and then he obviously was completely spent. And you knew they weren't gonna win that series, but he clearly was like the best player in that series, despite Jokic putting up crazy numbers and despite Kevin Durant. Like when you are clearly the standout and you make Kevin Durant just look good by comparison to you because you're so good, but he was so efficient. He's always just been that, like where he has that 70-point game and people are comparing him to Kobe and all these kind of things. Like it's sort of justified, and from early on I've always been sort of, you can kind of see that regardless, okay, his teams weren't that good or there's some up and down, some disappointments in the playoffs, whatever the case may be, he's still really I don't know. I'd say he's much better than people even realize. So you got Bradley Beal. Yeah, I don't know how far that team's really going to get, but I think your pick probably should still be Nuggets to make it along with the Clippers as far as the West. And then I'll give Boston enough credit to at least say they'll make it there, but then they'll lose to the Bucks. And then you'll have like Bucks versus Clippers, which might have been what I even said like last year. But again, that's a perfect example of the Kawhi effect. Like they win the first game against the Suns, right? The Clippers. Then they lose the second one and Kawhi is there, so that's fine. And nobody's saying they're going to sweep the whole playoffs because he's there. But then he gets hurt and then they lose. So like every indication was they would have probably won, or at least they would have had a great chance of winning if he was healthy. And then the same thing happened with the Spurs against even the Warriors with Kevin Durant, where the Zaza Pachulia, the Spurs owe that guy a bounty or whatever for the Warriors owe Zaza a bounty of millions of dollars or something for doing that, for taking him out, because if that didn't happen, the Spurs were blowing the Warriors out. Now that's just one game. It doesn't mean that they would have won the series, but at least it meant they would have had a great chance. But again, Kawhi goes out, Zaza does a cheap play, and then all of a sudden they have no chance. So there's something to be said about that. Like anytime this guy is healthy, you have a great chance. So maybe I should start with the worst teams here. We'll go from 3 to 1. So again, we obviously have to do the requirements to, the whole point of this stream was just to show like, okay, I'm using my console again for whatever reason. I have this ready, so probably on Wednesday I might make a little mini series out of this, where I can just hop in and just play a couple games. I won't do this long of an intro. But yeah, those are like a lot of my thoughts from the season. So let's think about the Nets. The Nets are not very good. I don't know what their record actually is, but, or am I gonna have to like mute my mic every time I go in the game? I always find that annoying. But yeah, let's just go with this. See, even based on their overalls though, they don't seem that bad. Like they should be like a 70 something overall. So yeah, we'll go with them until we lose, which of course I won't lose, and we only have to win one game. And it almost is like making it a hard one, but you would think we should go against other tier 3 teams, so it shouldn't be so bad. But we are starting with a really shitty group here. But that is interesting to see that they still consider the Warriors tier 1. I don't get why it does that. So you have to do that like every time. And my whole thing is I often don't even bother running plays. I'll kind of just do it in such a way that, you know, I'll just do it kind of freestyle, just do whatever I want. Go with like the 2K camera, I guess, that I'm used to. It's always annoying how some of these settings don't save, or they just, you have to keep doing this so religiously. Yeah, these matchups can be sometimes pretty fun because it's like pretty even regardless. Right, it's bad team versus bad team, so it's still pretty epic. Or that's always the trope with like some cities, like how do some markets survive? How did the Pistons survive when they're doing so bad, and especially doing so bad for such a long period of time? Oh, it's because of, okay, there's like a bit of a rumble that's kind of annoying. But it's because they come to see the other teams, right? Like, oh, the Lakers are in town, we got to see Kobe, or we got to see LeBron now, whatever. That's the real reason why they do it. The vibration is actually super annoying. Let me turn that off. Wait, it's still doing it. What the fuck? Now I'm gonna forfeit by how many times you pause it, right? What is this other thing? It's not a turbo fatigue meter. It's like some other weird thing. Dating indicator. It's something weird. It's not rumbling now, but it's something else. Okay, we gotta get used to this a little bit. Okay, not a very good shot. Gotta put this thing on. Yeah, I often don't mess with the settings too much. That's almost a hard mode condition that like I'm not allowed to. Or I would always enjoy trying to play like really good defense. But you gotta play on ball, but sometimes you gotta switch off just to. Playing fast can be such a cheese in these games. But basically, what the fuck, off the side, little Paul George maneuver there. But sometimes you gotta switch off a little bit because you're predicting what they're going to do, so. That should have almost been a foul. Or like that play should have been, wait, why am I even getting this? Okay, I gotta get used to the shot meter and stuff. Like Tatum looked like he got fouled in that game that they lost that against the Bucks, where they went on like they lost their 20-game win streak thing. Like you should, okay, I was gonna say you should definitely make that because that looked pretty clean, but some of these animations are very contrived. Like it just wants to give you the benefit of it, even if it doesn't make sense, or it's just meant to override everything else. Look at that, play fast, often a very good cheese. See, I like the pace of this game, that it's not like too over the top, and it's just like very controlled, mainly because both teams are bad, both players and both actual teams. But yeah, some of these players I just don't trust in terms of their okay, I had a couple openings there and then I just overdid. I did the Ben Simmons there, where I'm just kind of overthinking it or doubting myself. Yeah, my team is always ruined by the fact that you know, they overdo it. Like they almost need a variation of my team where you can only use, or they would do that sometimes. Just damn, he almost made it though. So, like where you would have like these weekly things, you can only use X such and such players, but then they would often top it off like, oh, you can only use 2 Galaxy Opals instead of 5 or something. Yeah, you could make like an all-clown NBA lineup, like Ben Simmons, Rudy Gobert, Dwight Howard. Doesn't even mean they're bad players. It just means they're clowns. Like, for various reasons, you were locking this guy down. I feel like I'm too slow with that. Like, I'll pass it and then it just takes forever to actually get there. Or, you know, I never icon pass. I just try to play in like a very raw sense, which you're still doing it instinctively, like what you think you should be going for. I'm trying to get a feel for how this really works. Yeah, that was a tough shot. Okay, I'm playing kind of bad now. This is where you got to jump out to a lead. Ooh, that was like a lot of jukes, but it didn't do anything.
Missed opportunity. It's a makeable shot for him. He just can't get it to go.
That one you should have almost been able to do. Or always use that as sort of like a means argument with Shaq, like how he always says, oh, just get it to the big man and let him dominate and that kind of thing. That is sometimes a very powerful thing. Like, obviously he's big and strong, but there's plenty of guys who have had physical advantages in the league, but for him to use them so, you know, mercilessly is a little bit different, right? That sort of characterization is good. Yes, he was big and strong, but the way he used it and how he would actually go at you, it's some players almost, it's like they feel bad or they want to be all cute and try to like mix it up and do different things. No, it's like he's bigger and stronger, he wants to dunk on you every time, and so that's what he's going to try to do, right? Whereas some of these guys try to be all cute and you got centers shooting threes and it's just like too much. One thing I'll play devil's advocate on though is like, it's not just a case where these releases are just not doing it for me. So for a combination of that's how my team would be. Like when you first started my team and you have only bad players, you would do it in such a way that you wouldn't take jump shots because you wouldn't trust them and you wouldn't know their releases, but also they wouldn't be very good jump shooters because their ratings just aren't that high. So it's even more reason not to do that. But they do have the WNBA stuff in here too, or that was in maybe the last version I played too, but I don't think I messed with it at all. Oh shit, that's the little green release. Irish Spring Green, as I think Flight would say that. He's just mucking up the paint so bad, so hard. So that wasn't like a perfect release, but it was still green because it didn't give me like the exclamation mark. But no, it's like people make fun of the WNBA so much. But the NBA now resembles the WNBA more than it ever has in the past because it's a case where, you know, it's more a finesse game. You're shooting more threes, more jump shots, less physical, not as much in the paint, not as center focused. So that's just what's so ironic about it. The same people who would make fun of the WNBA would also, you know, not see the faults of the current game. If you really like the more physical style and whatever, like you're all rough and tough, then you should prefer hand checking to come back and things like that. But there's so many underlying incentives why they wouldn't do that, like player health and things like that, or it's not as sexy to watch. Because as much as people might say they like that kind of stuff too, it's a case where those weren't very well viewed or well received finals either. Like the 2005 one is the pinnacle of defense where you would basically have the Spurs, who were very defensive minded at that time, and then you would have the Pistons, who were very defensive minded, but it got some of the worst views of any. Okay, that was kind of a weird angle, but I was always a master at doing that. I would get these weird kind of delayed, patient kind of moves in the paint. It's like I'm a Luka type of role player before Luka was even in the league. It's like you would go in the paint and then plant and then throw them off, but it didn't work there. And I love these sports talk shows that have like the same conversations a million times over. Like, is LeBron better than Michael Jordan? And they keep changing the goalposts. Like, I don't even mind if people say that. And I do feel like, you know, I'm kind of open-minded with it a little bit, where I feel like Michael is hyped up like crazy, right, by the media a little bit too much. So yes, he's great, but Wilt Chamberlain didn't get that same benefit from the media that he got. So he's never gotten really the respect he deserves. And I've debunked the whole era arguments like a million times as to why, you know, it doesn't make sense, because he dealt with the same disadvantages that made that era supposedly weak, simply being a little taller than everyone else, which he wasn't even that tall. Like, Yao Ming had a better height advantage than a lot of other people. These dunk animations are a little bit cheese. Once you get into it, they just kind of run with it. But no, everyone else had to deal with the same disadvantages, and so Wilt had to deal with them too. He didn't just come from Mars. So the fact that you're comparing him to modern players and not to his own era shows you his greatness right there, because that's like saying, you know, have that same conversation with chess, where it's just you know, how good would Paul Morphy be compared to today's players? But if he had access to the same resources as them, you can't separate the two. So it's the same thing. What if Wilt Chamberlain had modern nutrition and medicine and all this kind of technology and knowledge of the game and different resources at his disposal that everyone else takes for granted, and that made them who they are? Then, wow, that almost went in. Then it would be a different story. So you can't separate the two and say, oh, how would he be compared? How would he be compared to these people who had advantages that he didn't have? So he was better than everyone else with the same disadvantages that they had, a couple inches notwithstanding, even to the point of basically being able to, you know, he had a couple inches, but not as much of a height advantage, let's say, as, not as much of a height advantage as, let's say, what the fuck? That wasn't what he meant to do, but it still worked. As like Yao Ming. Yao Ming had a bigger height advantage, and the rules weren't as different as people sometimes say. Too long. Fuck, I don't know these releases, man. How am I supposed to do this? So having a couple inches doesn't mean you average 50 points a game. And then even later in his career, I'll validate it further to say that he played Lou Alcindor when he was on the Lake. Lou Alcindor on the Bucks. Fucking stupid. Lou Alcindor's on the Bucks in his prime, right, winning MVPs and all this kind of stuff. And Wilt's on the Lakers later in his career after he suffered some injuries, but he would still often play him to a standstill, or at least be very competitive. So unless you don't respect Kareem and don't think he's a modern, new enough player, then a player who could match him later in his career, or at least play him very competitively later in his career, obviously he would hold up in the modern era too. So unless you discount Kareem, then how can you discount Wilt? Because otherwise he should be getting destroyed by Kareem. Because like, oh no, he's this modern player who, you know, is just so different. And Wilt was just taking advantage of older players, but like worse players from the earlier era. So that's not really how it works either. I just keep doing the same thing. Like, let's just do a screen. Look how slow that is, bro. Fuck, that should still be fine though. That's ball.
1:22 left in the second quarter.
There's some other thing I was trying to say, but now I can't remember.
It's Thomas on the wing.
And if you miss that, these talk shows will recycle the same GOAT discussions and this and that. But yeah, I don't even mind if you say LeBron's better or this or that, but they keep changing the goalpost. Like everything, the longevity thing I don't like. Like, oh, now he's the all-time leading scorer, therefore he must be the GOAT. But people weren't saying that with Kareem, unless Kareem was your GOAT before, right? They'll just say whatever they need to say to. Wow, that was like way too easy. Okay, what are we at? Well, by one. Got to at least play better defense. But see, this is kind of a fun pace of a game. It's not as cheese and over the top as... I always like to overplay a little bit because, like... Yeah, RJ Barrett's going to be like a superstar and they're going to regret it. Where he's going to be way better than OG Anunoby dreamed of. Yeah, see, look at that. Look at that little stutter that I always would do stuff like that. You just make a move and you plant. Kind of like, who is that guy? Steve Coulter or something? He would do, not exactly like that, but he would like plan and do the crooked leg thing. Oh, come on. That was a good shot. In motion, he would have never expected it. Why is he called quickly? Because he has to move quickly. He didn't do shit. What was the other point I was saying? There was the era thing, but then there was also the... I don't know, like all these advantages players have. What else? There's so many takes I've had over the years that are actually pretty interesting. Or like I did that 1 week of a... 1 week is like a... Oh, he's just left. 1 week as a sports podcaster, and I triggered people with all kinds of stuff that I said. Now we're gonna fail to take advantage of a 4-on-5 somehow, assuming he's not there. Yeah, something seems a little bit almost sluggish. Look at that. Fucking moron, man. A pretty good block. You could have easily gotten that. Upcoming games, Julius Randle, 24 a game. Pretty good. Yeah, the Roy Hibbert, I always use that as a joke. The Roy Hibbert, fuck me. Hall of tomfoolery. Like any player who's a clown just ends up there. Roy Hibbert retired early to become a circus ringmaster. Yeah, that was a good foul, at least, because we kind of had a mismatch there. There's one other topic I was going to say, and then I got distracted by the whole era argument. Rehashing. Okay, that was pretty good. I don't like shooting even threes that much, but I'm in the wrong era then, I guess. Yeah, you can't really look at it in terms of eras, because it's like, oh, how good would Steph Curry be if he played in some other time? But he wouldn't have played like this if he played in some other time. He wouldn't have spent his whole life, you know, practicing threes, unless he would have been like a Pete Maravich type of guy. But, or like I would say, yeah, they should add a damn. They should add a fucking 4-point line, and you might say, well, no, we don't want them to shoot even longer shots. But it's kind of like you've already enabled that thing, because you're already playing like there is a 4-point line by shooting all these bomb long threes. So the game has already developed to that point. So now if you don't want to add a 4-point line, you're kind of like not acknowledging what you've already allowed the game to become. If you want it to be tougher and defensive minded, then add a hand checking and stuff like that back in. But if you're going to let the game go the way it's going anyway, you may as well add a 4-point line and reward people for shooting these bomb threes that they're doing anyway, because they're just doing it for spacing reasons. So that's the thing, is like you've already allowed that to happen without realizing it. So if you're a fan of that, then, you know, you got no choice but to do it. It's like the league almost owes Steph Curry a 4-point line before he retires, just in honor of his whole influence on style of play. Yeah, so he quits out, making people rage quit already, even though it was a tie game. Let's see. My back is kind of hurting in this position. See, that I'm not used to playing on console, even though that shouldn't matter too much here. Let me see. It's just no fun without the music, huh? So we did that one. So, but now we would still remember to continue. Like we won as Brooklyn, so now we get to play the next game as Brooklyn again once we get to that tier. So let's try the Hawks. And again, I'm not going to be a fan of bombing these threes either, the way that you're probably expected to, but it's almost a sort of cheese thing that you would do only in video games, right? Like these kind of step back, perfect release type of cheese threes that you would think aren't good shots, but then it turns into, you know, where that actually is a normal thing that people are doing in the game itself. Oh, mirror matchups are never any fun. But in a way, it's a good test of skill, I guess, too. Or it's always cool to just open up the box into legacy type of teams, too. I don't know if it works like that, where you can play legacy teams even if you're not. You should be able to, like, even if you haven't unlocked them yet. But then again, you would think they wouldn't have unlocked them yet either if you're playing somebody in the same tier, so I don't know. There's always so many fun, interesting topics to discuss in terms of, you know, it's folly, favoritism, sports. It's a good outlet for stuff like that. All these debate shows that people like so much. Because basically, it's a case where, you know, people get so passionate, so it gives them like an outlet to dump their passion and emotion and thoughts and effort into without actually any without any burden of consequence. Like whether you're right or wrong, whether it goes well or not, it doesn't really matter, so you don't really have to worry about it, but you can still enjoy it and get invested in it. Meanwhile, you're wasting all this energy that could be better spent on stuff that actually is meaningful in your life. But that is sort of the nature of folly favoritism, the concept we would always discuss. Basically just any form of entertainment or anything to distract from your life normally. He should have cut or done something. What the fuck? Not a good shot. I don't know what this little shaking on my controller is. This is some other feature they added. It's not even rumbling because we turned that off. Yeah, that's a bad shot, as Paul George would say. I mean, that was, at least he bid on the fake, but this also isn't that good of a post player, so it's fine. These dunks almost feel a little bit too generous sometimes. So many fouls, dude. Are we getting hack-a-shack just because I don't know the releases or something? Why don't we get like a 3-point icon? We're playing on Trae Young. You should jump on that though. What the fuck? There's so many times where they shoot threes just like in somebody's face in the modern game, so I don't really like that element. One has left the match. We're just farming these. We're using a lag switch. I mean, we technically did. Wait, how is it 2 wins? Why does it say 2 out of 1? I only played 1 game. Huh? Tier 3, 1 out of 1. Tier 2, 2 out of 1. Or did that first one count as a win because the guy quit out even though we were still on like the selection screen? So now we won as the Hawks, we won as the Nets, even though neither of those games reached a proper conclusion. And I guess we'll start as the Celtics, who I even keep clowning, but we can keep jacking it up as Porzingis here. So this is like a rematch of the finals from a couple years ago, and obviously the Warriors are, why are they called the Splash Brothers? Because they're washed up now, you could say, but obviously, I mean, Clay was struggling. It's just the natural thing that would happen. I predicted, for example, that the Warriors would win 2 more even after KD left. So one of them I was very happily proven right, but the fact that, you know, the 2022 one here, but outside of that, you got to play off Draymond Clown Green here. Treat him like the clown that he is. I like this matchup actually with Drew Holiday on Curry. Okay. little back and forth cheese that you sometimes see in these games.
And I'm glad we're here.
And last season, the Warriors' so-called two-timeline approach.
Ooh, that was a
Did you think
fancy move there.
His chemistry or younger players still growing.
Derek White, pretty underrated player at times. Fucking, I hate that aspect. That's what older school players would say. We'd never give Curry those. Like, we'd give him jump shots. Sure, you can't do anything about that unless you actually injure the guy, but you would,
He's more creative with that dribble.
oh, come on with that. That was easy. You would not let him just get all these layups and shit on you.
Thompson for the triple? Rebound.
There's this funny clip of, like, LeBron. Oh, shit.
That's the way they'll defend against him every time he takes the ball in the three-point line.
Now, come on. He could easily make that, but they give Draymond this super Saiyan aura because, oh, he's supposed to be a good defender. That's one of those contrived things. Draymond Green couldn't do shit in that situation
In the corner, it's Wiggins.
in real life.
Back to Curry.
He'd just shoot in my fucking face here.
5 to shoot.
You really, you're going to give it to Draymond Green in that situation? Just ask KD what he thinks about it in a high pressurized late
Bring it up.
clock situation.
They're moving on it.
Come on.
They took at the hands of the Nuggets.
That final score really caught a lot of people off guard. I think we would have to quantify that one as an upset.
Yeah, Clay had some struggles. So yeah, I'll even accept that my prediction is wrong. They're not going to win a second title after after that. I'll accept that their run is over. I would always do these super smooth, sexy layups with Jaylen Brown. He's got to get in the right cadence here. Fuck me.
And again, it's the Warriors missing.
You know, he's not somebody I like to handle the ball. I'll give it to him, and then he'll do something crazy with it.
Many open looks from there.
Out to Porzingis.
I mean, Porzingis should just be able to dominate here because he's so big, but
And Draymond Green picks up the foul. That's his first foul. And here we are, Brown.
yeah, the gameplay is pretty similar to what I'm used to, I guess. It's just, you know, they keep making these little cosmetic changes every time.
Depends on the minutes that you're playing.
It's like buying a new iPhone or something. They'll add one little dinky new feature, take one feature away, just to justify a new release.
That opportunity.
And there's all these cheeses you can do at timeouts that you'd like take advantage of.
Now here's Brown. Right now, checking his stats, he's averaging over 23 points.
Why does it feel like the passes are so slow like that sometimes?
Get off his shot. And the dunk by Porzingis.
Yeah, that would always happen with me with the old school Celtics too, like the 80s Celtics. My leading scorer would always be Kevin McHale. It wouldn't be Larry Bird, just because maybe of my style of play. I guess I am a bit of an old head boomer with that mentality. Like, you know, 3 might be bigger than 2, which has been proven true with true shooting percentages and things like that. But I would always just,
The Warriors in this one.
It's not often we get to see this matchup, but it is a doozy when we do. Just two powerhouse teams.
it's a case where you would basically be able to, fuck me.
This one. But I love it when they get together. Last year they split the 2 games between them.
He's going to just jack up a 3. You know, I still feel it's like more reliable. So that's why I'd take a guy. Are you serious? Letting Draymond Green score? That should be a failure condition right there.
See if somebody has a shot, even if your name's
You know, like, why would I take Shaq over Curry or somebody like that if you want to make that comparison even? And the reason why is easy because
It's White on the wing.
if Curry's having a bad shooting night, he might just have like a finals like this 2016 where he just has a bad finals. It can happen despite how good he is at shooting. I'm not questioning his ability. I'm saying everybody has off nights. But if Shaq's having a bad night, he can just still.
Trey. Boston again missing.
That's I thought that was Porzingis for some reason.
Thompson.
You know, Shaq can still get easy buckets inside. He's gonna dunk. Like you make it easier or harder for yourself. So Curry's style of play makes it harder for him, whereas you know Shaq's or somebody's style like that makes it much easier.
delivering that one.
Now Brown.
Brown hasn't really done what I wanted here.
Free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. Jonathan
Yeah, those are 2 of my favorite players, just because they have a certain smoothness and
extension for
just talent that seems sort of untapped, and they're always underrated. Like Jaylen Brown, if I was a coach, would be better than Jason Tatum, and he would be my #1 option. And Devin Booker, I guess, can't be denied that anyway. He is just that good anyway. That he is a number one option even over KD, but hey, that's kind of nice, like where you just push them off, but it's an animation that's actually recognized and it's not actually treated as a offensive foul. Like, oh shit, what am I doing? Yeah, I'm jacking up threes a little bit too much, but okay. Look how low scoring it is too, though. Must mean we're playing good defense. That said nobody ever in the modern era of the game. Yeah, I'd always still go with a center over that, and that was always the conventional wisdom of the game overall. Just the fact that you would have, you know, like, why was Hakeem Olajuwon taking over Michael Jordan? And you wouldn't even regret that one too much, because who knows how many titles Michael would have won with the Rockets, right? But you already had Clyde Drexler or something, let's say, and so therefore you get Hakeem Olajuwon, so therefore, you know, you're valuing a center over a guard, and they're both all-time great, but centers were always seen as being harder to get. So we're not questioning the ability of somebody else, but like that much you have to give up, but that is sometimes enough for him. I'm not getting those smooth shots for Jaylen Brown that I like, though. I just keep kind of doing the same thing over and over. I'll just run a pick and roll, but a lot of your things should come, but that's what a lot of people do, is equally simple. Just always, are you serious, bro? Why is Tatum in the game this long? Tatum will take like those standstill threes like in somebody's face, like semi-contested, just deliberately all the time, and he'll make them sometimes, but oh shit, the commentator had more faith in it than even me. I was surprised that was even going to happen like that. But no, Tatum to me would still be like a second option. He'd be playing great defense, he'd be like your point forward, but he wouldn't actually be your best player. Come on, that was like a phantom foul, and I can't believe he made that. There's so many interesting topics, though, to discuss. That's why I almost turned it into a just chatting thing, where you just talk about different things in the season. I guess it's still too early in the season, though. Are you serious, man? I don't know what I was doing that play, but... But yeah, the Warriors probably are done. I would accept the fact that whatever I predicted there was wrong as far as them winning the second title, but at least one of them did happen. A lot of young teams that, you know, coming up are going to be very interesting to look at, whether it be that was a hell of a delay there. I can't believe that. You know, the Wolves are going to be good coming up. The Magic even look decent. That was unexpected. Yeah, I love little things like that. Like, we're actually shutting the Warriors down defensively, even though we're both just bad. I mean, at least he had to back up a little bit, but there's nothing you can do about that. Yeah, in this era, defense doesn't win championships because you're still going to have crazy offense that it comes down to. Blow by into a violation. Nice one. Field goal percentage, three-point percentage. Clippers number 1, Thunder number 2, Timberwolves number 3. Yeah, that's what the modern NBA is going to turn into. All 5 positions are going to be stretch, and they're going to be big too. Like, you know, it's going to be 5 players like Jokic who can be point guards and shoot and dribble and do everything in one. Now that's one of those bullshit moments where it's like you're getting an illegal screen. How is that my fault? That's just like one of those AI stat things like, oh, he has a tendency to do that, so therefore every once in a while he'll do it. Like Draymond Green, every once in a while he'll just randomly get a technical foul or do something dumb because that's just how he is. I was up by like 6 a second ago. This is what the Warriors can do. All those threes that you're just giving them, they start to fall, so I mean, Holiday is a pretty good matchup, all things considered. Like, when you look at that, defensively, they should actually be amazing. Holiday, Tatum, Brown's not a bad defender. Porzingis isn't maybe perceived as a great defender, but just his size alone is pretty good. I mean, yeah, Rudy Gobert is going to be crowned instead of clowned by the fact that, oh, he's on a good team finally. But, you know, players always get credit like that. Like that one year, people were saying, oh, Chris Paul is an MVP candidate because look at the turnaround of the Phoenix Suns. They go from not making the playoffs to all of a sudden they make the finals. Which, yes, he had a good impact on them, obviously. But on the flip side, they were a young developing team that was going to get better anyway. I don't look at it like that, where, you know, they were going to get better anyway. So the same thing with the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves were improving regardless. So it's not entirely just because of Rudy Gobert. And you'll see in the playoffs maybe how useless he is, because he's going to be an offensive liability, and defensively he's going to not be as good as you think maybe either. Yeah, why are those sometimes so delayed? That pause should have guaranteed that I made it, but yeah, I like that description of Andre Iguodala from back in the day. Like, he's a poor man's LeBron James. Like, that's a compliment and an insult at once. But like how you could just do a little bit of everything. You could say that with like Kevin Huerter or somebody, that he's Are you serious? You missed that? You were basically open. Really? I mean, I'm not saying he can't do that, but basically he can't do that at this point. Some of the kind of moves I would do with Brown, but that wasn't good enough. The CPU defense can be sort of cheese sometimes, where, you know, you can't really do anything to it. He's too predictable, but somehow he can't a foul. I call his shot, and I get punished for that. This guy's so bad, too. What the fuck is he doing? He's almost as bad as me. This quarter has been a disaster. Like, I was always playing good defense for a while there. I picked Curry and get a score off of it. All this kind of crazy crap. This would always be my philosophy. Like, if I'm going to do a just chatting stream, it'd be like playing a game like this or playing a game like chess or something. You can just kind of do it in the background and you're talking about other random stuff. Trying to think, what are some other good debate points? I clown certain players. I kind of predicted the success of some players. So Devin Booker, I definitely have a good track record with that. But yeah, if you want to discount the whole Clippers prediction, you can say, well, you know, people have bet on them a couple years, but they always use injuries as an excuse, or they always get injured. That's fair, but on the flip side, injuries are always a good cop-out to the extent that you know, you're always going to be able to do that no matter who. Oh shit, I hope I win because of this, actually. So that means that most of our wins would have come strictly from that. Just the fact that like 2 out of 3 people have disconnected or something. quit and receive a win. Like, why wouldn't you, dude? So that one wasn't going too well, but I guess I was just getting a little sloppy and boring. Let's try to win a couple more as that when I come back in a second. I gotta almost test the audio a little bit to see, like, but I guess there's not really much audio too here, just like even the sound effects and stuff, because I have it turned down both in the game and on OBS, so maybe I could change one of the two. Okay, I'm trying to play a little better now. We've gone undefeated so far, but I won't say I played particularly well in the process. And see, my mind goes immediately to abusing Porzingis, either as a stretch or something. Is that the current Lakers that's considered a 97, or is that some other old school one? I can't even imagine that they would be considered that now. I looked through them all, but I guess I didn't notice them standing out like that. But with how much they're overhyped, I guess you could say that. Or at least it should be a historic version of the one from the bubble that won the thing. That's one thing I definitely don't agree with, though. People saying, like, oh, it's a Mickey Mouse type of thing. Dude, why the fuck did he stop? He could have kept going. Okay. The most epic block ever. I hate how people hype that one up so much. Like, it's good, but Andre had a bad back, and he had to adjust. I'm not even diminishing it, but it's not like the best play you've ever seen in your life. LeBron's blocking it like with his body rather than his whatever. Kind of forcing it with that a bit. LeBron is in the position where basically, what was I saying? That would be, you know, the block was a good play, the 2016 on Iguodala, but yeah, his back was bad, so he had to adjust a little bit. It wasn't going to be a game-winning shot, even if he made it. It was, you know, not the best play I've ever seen, but it's a good play. Star treatment. He's only getting fouls because he's a star. But yeah, let me invalidate the Kobe Shaq Lakers a little bit. They were up. If you look back in their history, it's not as impressive as you might think. In 2000, their first year that they won the title, it was, why are we getting all this weird notation? And they're like on the bottom ticker, it's like got all these weird symbols and stuff. I didn't see what it said entirely, but season high.
And talking about LeBron James, Steve, he still is on the hunt for more championships.
Kevin, that hunger is still evident.
But no, the 2001, they're up 3-1 on the Blazers, the jail Blazers as people call them, and I really like those teams because they're very balanced, and they had like Scottie Pippen and all this kind of stuff later in his career. But basically, it's a case where come on, fuck off. The case where they're up 3-1, then they blow the 3-1 lead, and it gets to a game 7, and then at that point they're able to. No, I wasn't trying to do that. He still almost bails me out. And then they're down by 15 in the fourth quarter. Now, I'm not even going to say that's because of refereeing per se. Now, how is that fair? I even play off from the three-point line to stop him from doing that, and then he still does it. That's one of those cheese Jaylen Brown type of smooth plays, but somehow Tatum's hijacked his thing there. He's kind of almost phased through them. Come on, that should be a steal or something, dude. They blow that one, but I won't say that that was actually because the refs gave them that back. Like, the Blazers were just missing jump shots and things like that. So I'm not saying it like that, but what I am saying is it's not as impressive as you might think because yes, exactly as intended. Get blocked and then get it right back for a 3.
And he likes to get in a rhythm early. Nice triple.
Now here's LeBron. He's got 5.
You gotta play off him a little bit, but they're giving him a little bit too much, bro. This is the modern LeBron. This is not the young LeBron. Yeah, just make him jump. Theatricality and deception are powerful agents. And 80 is not initiated to them. Or I love that one recurring comment. And so many times you can use like a Bane You can use like a Bane quote for Desmond Bane. Like any, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but easy. Yeah, that'll be the future of the NBA. 5 stretch forward, center, point center, who can all shoot and everything. There's no way you should be able to get that. I almost like that matchup better than anything. Just play off LeBron the whole time, and then fucking just have Porzingis block him in the paint. And if he's hitting jump shots, then you're just fucked. So just deal with it. Yeah, imagine how much Skip Bayless has been mauling, though. Like, LeBron becomes the all-time leading scorer and just all these kind of things that I never would have expected him to do that. Because with all due respect to how great he is, it's like his game always did rely a little bit, at least, on athleticism. So it's like you would think either he would get injured or he would just kind of slow down, and then he wouldn't want to average like 15 points. But somehow he really has been impressive. So he won't actually. Oh shit, he did actually finish. You might say, oh, my team's just OP, this is a tier 1 team, but the Lakers are considered that even if they're not in effect. You know, that's almost like 2K calling somebody a bad coach. Like, you have a tier 1 team, but you're only like not even in the playoffs. You're like a 10 seed, so that's your fault.
His only concern right now is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
It's a mean mismatch, as like Chris Move would say. He was one of the first YouTubers that I really watched a little bit, and it was because of that whole Test Drive Unlimited, like, cool production value to the intros that he would have.
Pass to Christie. Back to Hachimura. Right wing.
But yeah, that was an awesome line from last year that my friend had in a comment. Like, we have like this trio, the unholy trinity of just, I would say shit, then they would ad-lib it or whatever. It's hard to explain, but like when you're playing the Joker but you're the clowns, like talking about the Lakers against the Nuggets, you're playing against the Joker as in Jokic, but you're actually the clowns, not him. That's like a template that my friend uses a lot in YouTube comments, and people seem to love it in so many contexts, in chess, in whatever. Just, oh my god, dude, just give him the star treatment, where you just like quote somebody like it's not a real quote, and you just either change the name up a little bit, or it just sounds like something conceivable that they could say.
Greg, looking at the history of the Lakers, they always feel they're a title contender.
And they've been to the finals in every decade. Their longest championship drought in LA, just 12 years. So, to me, the best franchise in NBA.
What was the 12 years? It must have been, I don't even know. What?
He has yet to score. And here's the fast break. Russell leading the way.
I don't know why LeBron is so godly in the paint here all of a sudden. Like, I get it, but they're giving him like way too much. They're making it too easy for him. Taking a lot of bad shots, though.
Boston leading by 5.
Okay.
And here is Tatum. He has 6.
Okay, good mismatch. This is all I would do, dude. Or you know what I'm not doing is like posting up, but there's nobody here that you really feel like you should be posting up with.
From so many others, because the defense has to focus on his.
Oh my god. He could have just scored that too, that's the problem. This matchup on LeBron is not working. I don't know why we're doing it. I'm too lazy to change the coaching settings.
And that'll be 2 free throws.
What?
Rachel's on the call with the foul.
Okay, now we're getting like these phantom fouls. Speaking of getting special treatment, but yeah, I was saying the 2001. So if they had lost that lead after being up 3-1 and then they're down 15 and they didn't come back, and again, I'm not even blaming the refs or anything for that. The Blazers were just missing jump shots and giving up threes and stuff like that. But basically, they would have probably broken that up. They would have probably gotten rid of Kobe because they weren't going to get rid of Shaq at that point, and so therefore, that would have ruined the whole thing, and you wouldn't have had that dynasty. Or
It's tough when one night something is a foul
or it's a case where, you know, it makes it seem a little bit less illustrious than you think if you take that into account. And then the 2002 one I actually will disqualify because of the refs, because that was totally rigged in the sense that the Kings are up 3-2 and they're not the sexy team, so therefore they go with you know, really helping the Lakers out a lot there. So I will disqualify that one. I think most people would probably agree with that too. So 2 out of the 3 championships can be called into question. Not even to say that they didn't deserve to win the first one, but just that it wasn't as good as maybe... that was a weird foul. A standstill. It wasn't as good as you would think. And then the middle one was obviously godly. Just you go almost undefeated through the whole playoffs, except for the one game against Allen Iverson. And that's one thing that's weird. Shaq always complains about Steve Nash, like, oh, I deserve the MVPs over Nash, but he was with the Heat then, so maybe one of them he might have still deserved because there was that one year that Wade was injured. But the person he should really be mad at is Iverson, because Iverson won one over Shaq that he almost didn't deserve, and he even got a vote. Got a vote to stop him from getting a unanimous one. He's not even taking advantage of shots like that, but LeBron is so busted here. Like, this is not... yeah, if LeBron was like this now, they wouldn't be in the spot that they're in. Not even saying it's his fault entirely, but Jesus Christ, dude. He's not like this right now. Okay. Brown isn't really doing it for me here. Where's his smoothness that I would always do these crazy layup packages and little fake outs and stuff? Lakers steals 1.4, 1.2. I always like that about Hakeem Olajuwon, that he would have so many steals for a center. It was kind of unusual.
Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
Fucking doing a plug for Gatorade here.
Here we go with Holiday running it up the court. And the foul called on Anthony Davis.
Blocking foul, so that's not going to be a shooting foul? I kind of was trying to go up for it.
Defense was just there a little late.
And here in the second quarter of action as we approach 4 minutes played.
Well, Jaylen Brown's got to do something, but he's got to get it kind of in motion. Like, do something, cut.
Back to Brown. Davis with the block. They recover it. And they get it back.
Fuck.
High-level defensive potential for Cam Reddish. He's active and versatile, and add in the length, he can cover a lot.
Austin Reeves, everybody's hyped guy. Overhyped. Fucking one of those things where you just go right through me.
Davis has got his second bucket.
Terrific play. This is why you run your offense through him and live with the
Come on, go out to the 3, Horford. That's all you're good for. I don't know how it determines whether it's a fade from the 2 or the 3, though.
5 seconds left in the first half of basketball.
Oh, that should be a 3-point play. Yeah, see, those are the kind of ones, like, cut and play it like Dwayne Wade. I always had this kind of fascination with him, especially because he was my first gold in my team, like in 2K14 that I was talking about. So basically it means that he wasn't a great 3-point shooter or even a very good one, and so therefore you would have to make something of nothing sometimes, where they knew you would be driving, they knew you would be doing something in the paint, you would have to be kind of crafty and figure something out. That is how he would play in real life, and so it's just kind of satisfying to do that. Unbelievable. But how? What happened there?
trying to regain his touch, but right now he's hurting the team.
Doesn't make any sense, dude. I don't even blame him for that. That's just like some kind of canned animation bullshit. I wonder if they ever use bots in games like this. I feel like there wouldn't be much of a point in doing that. Always these people gotta talk shit on their mic, acting like so superior to you or something. Everybody here obviously sucks, but I should be playing better defense at least. That's the one thing I gotta learn. Offense, I just kind of do the same things over and over and don't really run plays and stuff, so that I can accept. But
In the corner, it's James.
LeBron is just a god apparently here, so
Porzingis with the block.
so ridiculous.
And the 7-3 reach of Porzingis being put to great use there.
Yeah, I like that little stutter. I didn't really even have to do it there, but turn defense into offense. That's the whole reward. So you shouldn't. Porzingis. Fuck. I gotta like icon switch or something. Man, LeBron is just cheese though. They make him too good here.
With a few more like that.
Screen by Porzingis.
At the very least, you got a mean mismatch here. So what is he gonna do about it?
Nails the baby hook.
I don't even understand the releases and stuff there. Like, does it really matter whether you got a good, perfect release there or not on a shot like that?
Just flat out fall apart defensively right now.
That's so dumb, bro.
And that one's good by LeBron.
I understand against some players, but Tatum is pretty big, strong. He's a good defender. You just go right through him. Like, what the fuck?
Out to Porzingis. Beyond the arc.
I mean, I would just abuse stretch players like that. Like, they're always going to be open, so just always shoot with them.
On the offensive end, yet they continue to lead.
You reach, I teach kind of moment, but I guess not even.
On the offensive glass, and he picks up 2. Davis has got 6.
I like Chris Move, but he would sometimes reuse some of the same lines over and over for years. He would have like certain catchphrases.
Holiday.
Fucking Austin Reeves couldn't do shit about that in real life.
They'll be playing host to Portland for their next
So let me guess, LeBron's gonna just do something. What the fuck?
game homestand.
I gotta just be on Porzingis because nobody can stop this guy.
James in the post.
What? Take a jump shot though. I dare you, dude. I don't even care.
That's in there.
So fucking stupid.
21 points for LeBron.
In this period, they're feeding him, and he's feeling it.
Pass to Porzingis. Back to Brown. Drive to the hoop.
Okay, that was kind of smooth.
He's got 11.
I just started to not play defense very well. I must be doing it at some point here, but
This is a guy who
you just gotta give help. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, cheese.
finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
A moment now to hear from our sideline reporter, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
It's very cheese. I'll just camp on Porzingis. This is not even right. Or I can't really even do that. He's not really shooting perimeter shots or taking advantage of them at all.
Sleep habits, nutrition, workouts, recovery, film work, being efficient with your practice.
Like, he'll still make it. He's just LeBron, and
Winning habits
they've got his dick down their throat, I guess, at 2K, because I'm not saying he's not good, but what the fuck is this, dude? He's just, like, magnetizing to the paint in a way that's so irritating.
Thank you for that detailed report.
He's thanking me for the detailed report, if you can even hear him. I think it's maybe I've turned the volume down a little bit too low on them, but there's nothing to really hear. Like, there's no music. It's just all
143.
their commentary and shit. You don't really want competing with my commentary.
Double up Davis. And we're gonna
Imagine doing that for a living, commentating on sports games. Meanwhile, I'm commentating on virtual sports games.
here's Brown.
Okay, good little fake. But it's still too high scoring. Like, I prefer at most 10 points a quarter, which it kind of still is around that vicinity, but let me guess what he's gonna do, bro.
They get the rebound. Pass to Reeves. Porzingis with the steal.
I mean, he's probably just getting tired at this fucking point.
And Brown throws it down.
Yeah, Brown and Porzingis would be my go-to. Fuck Tatum. Tatum's the third option. He's a 3-and-D guy. Point forward, you know, let him get some cool passes and stuff.
And Tatum pulls it down.
Well, he wants to shoot his way out of this cold spell, but the struggle
I don't know what that was. Even I was confused about what I was doing, but
Want to focus on
17, 8 for 13, plus minus. Plus minus is kind of a deceptive, stupid stat. Oh yeah, that was one thing I wanted to address. Like, Charles Barkley and some of these old heads always talk shit about analytics. And the only thing I say with that is like they treat it as like an absolute, like, oh, what about the eye test, or what about you gotta
Team is losing partly because he hasn't drained a shot all night.
Goes back up.
you gotta, you know, whatever, listen to players, things like that. Like the two aren't mutually exclusive. Like where you can do all those things, analytics can just be a part of the thing. Like you look at, you know, it's like 5% of your decision making process or 10%, but they take it as an absolute. Like, oh, either you use analytics 100% or you don't, or you do it the old-fashioned way. Like it's an element of all 30 teams, dude. The analytics on that was there was a 100% chance he's going to do that same fucking thing, and I'm too lazy to change the defensive settings, so I just deal with that.
That is some artistry. Greg, you're right. On his way to the basket, he was soaring. Horford inside the line.
But yeah, it's not a either or. It's not an absolute. Yeah, sure, some guys swear by it, like Daryl Morey and stuff, but it doesn't mean that unless they come at the expense of anything else. You take that into account. You can be damn sure if you own a multi-billion-dollar team, you won't spend a couple $1 million on analytics to try to, you know, figure something out. Or they oversimplify it so much. Like I was making fun of it. Like they just signed this player and they just signed that player. Like he just goes through naming players. Yeah, that's how the league works. You sign players. But he's saying it like in a dumb way, like, you know, that's why they got better. But you wouldn't always know that that's going to make you better. Like, you know, the Rockets, I'll do Daryl Morey. The Rockets signed James Harden, but James Harden was the sixth man. So to take a gamble on him as your main guy and then it ended up working out is a case where even the commentary is sucking LeBron off. Just have to play good defense here. I don't want to force it with Tatum too much. He's a bit of a choker. That almost looked like an offensive foul. I would have given it to him there. Got to get used to the releases a little bit. Okay. I'm not happy with the defense that I've been playing, though, especially on LeBron. I don't like playing off ball, but I almost have to because they're clowning me. Like, what am I supposed to do with this shit? Like, I'm playing off, but I can't. This is a fucking old man doing this shit to you, dude. Kind of a mismatch in there. Just duck under. That's the way that Dwight Howard can average 8 points per quarter. The way that Shaq would say, like, just, you know, just dive down, run the floor, get there first. Run down the center of the floor. You know, if I had hit the perfect release on that, there's no question. Sometimes you, I don't know, like sometimes you should miss even with a perfect release because that can happen in real life, but that's basically to justify some of those cheese step back crazy threes. If you do a step back three every single time and you get the perfect release every single time, nobody can do anything about it. Right, like, so couldn't you just theoretically do that? I feel like I saw that one time with like Drazen Petrovic or something in my team game. The guy was taking a step back three every single shot, so there was nothing you could even do about it. You could contest it, but you're not contesting anything because he's just fucking fading away. That's the whole Dirk effect. The most one-dimensional superstar ever. People didn't really like my take on that, but I would stand by it. Like, you know, he's a guy, if his shot's off tonight, you're screwed because he's not a great rebounder for his size. He's not a great passer. He's not a great defender. He's even arguably a bad defender. So he can't do anything besides score. And off scoring, he mainly would still shoot jump shots. Sure, he could score inside pretty well, but I'm just saying, like, he was just a scorer, so it wasn't like ironically similar to Mark Aguirre, who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but basically, you know, Dirk was very limited with what he could do. So not questioning how good he was at doing it, but sometimes that's just not enough. This guy's the offense is very one-dimensional too.
to Pritchard.
Al Horford isn't doing the best job of.
Shot clock at 5. No good on that.
Ooh, that would have been sexy if he made that. I just get kind of lazy when I get a lead. Like, what are some of these things that he's doing?
The jam.
I guess I'm getting used to 2K cheese again. Do it right back to him. But at least that makes more sense for Tatum to do it rather than Anthony fucking Davis. Yeah, I kind of like these matchups more. Just put a big on LeBron, because that's all he's doing.
On Boston.
He's playing like a total clown freight train.
At some point, when you recognize someone's this out of rhythm, you have to shift to something else.
Here's Holiday.
Well, that was weird. I would always do these kind of weird shifty plays. I still don't like how much scoring I gave up to them. We don't get free tacos for the fans unless we hold them to below 40 points or something. They would always do these weird things like, oh, if we score 100 tonight, the fans are cheering or booing for that, regardless of whether their team's winning or losing. They just want their free food or some dumb shit like that. Jeff Van Gundy losing his mind in the commentary booth. You know what I would say if I was like Curry or somebody, though? I would say Mark Jackson should be retired with the Warriors, like his presence as a coach, because, you know, he helped make them what they are, and then Steve Kerr took it over, and you can't really question them hiring Steve Kerr because it went very well from then on, but it was at least he got off to a very good start with it.
And the dunk by Tatum.
I keep hesitating when I don't have to.
Tatum can score, and that's exactly what he's done thus far.
Yeah, but Jaylen Brown's better. They're praising Jason Tatum.
Misses in close.
You got to do those late contests to make them think.
They're on a 13-4 run right now.
Look how cheese this game is, dude. I mean, obviously you can make adjustments with the coach or something, but says me, only 6 from mid-range, which I thought that was more like.
With a big lead, they've maintained their focus.
For 3. He can't get
He just can't do anything.
So it's Boston now. A 21
What is Tatum trying to do? Get me an 8-second fucking violation, dude?
Smitty, we've seen some great MVP races in these last few seasons, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
It's all bigs, though, in the era of guards. Ooh, what the fuck was that, dude? I didn't think he was even make that. What happened to Grant Williams, even? Is he hurt or did they trade him? I don't even know. But it's been like Embiid, Tatum, and Giannis, let's say. The all bigs in the era, supposedly, of guards and of,
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And with this win, they'll end up notching another
Fuck,
victory
I
for this year's game.
was trying to do it there. Just sometimes you get stuck in animation.
Official, this win gives them a nice confidence boost against this team. They'll face them twice more this season.
Yeah, you should probably win this based on real life considerations as well.
The biggest was the incredible performance.
That's that stand backwards defense. I'm guarding you with my back. Oh, fuck, no free tacos. According to my fantasy scenario there.
He did it by owning the board.
What?
And so Boston again turning it over.
They're using some sort of gravitational pull to cheat to give the Lakers an advantage, but they're still going to lose. Yeah, that 2002 series, I think most people would agree, that was not exactly on the level.
Who is outside?
Whereas the Blazers, I don't really give much sympathy.
Here's Hachimura. And again, the Lakers no good. On offense, here are the Celtics. Earlier, they held a 23-point lead. Celtics pass
Earlier, but it's 19 now, so what the fuck? It's not a big difference.
pass to Walsh.
What is going on?
The Lakers will take possession.
I'm totally doing it just to troll the guy. Or like I don't even want to score, as if to BM him.
12 seconds left.
So I'm being a good sport. So is this the third game or is this the second game that we won? I think this is still only the second one. I at least want to get to the from freshman tier up one. Or he's showing good sportsmanship.
Boston easily grabbing this
Tomorrow's game, Portland at Los Angeles.
manner in which their team was
No, don't quit. Oh yeah, let's actually look at a proper box score where somebody doesn't actually quit out. LeBron had 29, 13 for 20. Davis 4 for 5, nothing crazy there. He really couldn't make a fucking 3 to save his life. Holy shit. The era of 3-pointers, by the way, where I just completely wasn't trying to take them either. At least that's like maybe a sense of honor or something unique that I do, where I don't really take too many threes, but that's also why I get destroyed maybe sometimes. Tatum actually had the most. He was kind of going off there, but I prefer Brown still somehow. Or I actually prefer Porzingis. Maybe he would be my first option just because it ends up being so easy to get him 3-point shots and stuff. So we'll do one more for getting to the next tier at least. When does this even reset? Why do I feel like I'm treating it like it's a card game? Like, oh, this will reset at the end of the month. Like, that's the season. But I feel like it doesn't. I just don't play enough, so it makes it seem like, oh, this doesn't, you know, it takes me the whole year to get through this. But then I don't even ever play it. Like, this would be normally the only time I play it the whole year. Then I'll play 2K25. Or it's like, I might have played it just later on before the playoffs. And that would be my only thing. But now I'll maybe make a little bit of a point to do it, I guess. One thing I noticed, actually, my back's hurting from doing this. Console gaming is back-breaking work over here. Holy shit. I don't know why. Like, I'm not used to the position or something. That's what's interesting. Like, there would be this effect, like, where if you watch TV... Oh, this would be a good matchup. If you watch TV after using your computer for, like, years... Right, you only ever use the computer and you never watch TV, and now it'll hurt your eyes. Not because your eyes aren't used to a screen, but they're not used to that particular screen. Right, you're used to your TV, your computer monitor, or your laptop, but you're not used to a TV. So it's just the adjustment, not that one is better than the other, or that you're not completely adapted to that. I don't know what that is. Footprint center. What is footprint? Porzingis didn't do jack all there. Yeah, that was not exactly very good. Classic chickens. Yeah, just quit out like the rest of these clowns. But let's actually try to have a substantial game for once. Yeah, that was a totally unnecessary foul, but I'm a bit of a clown. None of these players are good, obviously, but we can't. 17. How is he averaging? I mean, I guess he is, you could say, the third option, but realistically, he could almost be like an even second option with KD. As much as you might think that's insulting to KD, it's really not. I mean, Beal's a guy who led the league in scoring not too long ago. And obviously, Devin Booker's unquestionably the number one. Yeah, that didn't seem like a necessary foul either, but... Wait, he missed. Wait, what happened? Did it bug? Didn't he miss the first? I'm confused as to what happened. I thought he missed one free throw. Did he get a 3? Oh, here we go. As much as I like Devin Booker, we got to shut him down. Okay, that I can't do anything about. Everybody wants these little big threes, like the OKC one was so disappointing. Carmelo, Westbrook, and Paul George, right? And they didn't do anything. So they just think that putting big names together is enough to win you something. Which sometimes it should be, but... Whether do... Wait, what the fuck? Why does everybody keep doing that? I almost just want to play one game where I get to actually... Play now online T. Your reward has been unlocked. 88 free agent though, which means it runs out after a certain number of games. I just wanted to like play one game actually fully, which I guess we did against the Lakers, the old classic Lakers Celtics rivalry. But that term is always wrong too. Dynasty. Dynasty is supposed to mean like over the course of generations. So that would mean like, you know. It doesn't even make sense, really. You could say the Lakers are a dynasty collectively as a franchise because they went from, you know, Mikan to whatever, Mikan to Chamberlain to fucking Magic and Kareem and all this kind of other stuff. But you can't say that like with, oh, the Warriors dynasty. There's no Warriors dynasty. It's just one team in the, you know, 2010s that won a couple of championships. Like, it's not what the word dynasty really means, but I get why they do that. Or I guess you could say it kind of was, because it went from, you know, oh, Steph to KD back to Steph. So it's like, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but people just throw that term out. Even the Spurs, like, at least that lasted long enough to say, okay, it's dynastic with Kawhi coming in and winning the MVP. But that was one moment that I thought was really dumb, where Iguodala won the 2015 Finals MVP. I think everybody could agree he didn't deserve it, as good as he was, except for Max Kellerman, who would probably say he deserves it. But the point being that basically it's a case where, why is he giving the pick? What? Where if you believe that LeBron, because he played so well in that series, everybody had a hard on for LeBron, fine. Give it to the best player on the losing team, even though that's not tradition. So therefore, give it to LeBron. I'm fine with that. Or give it to the best player on the winning team, in which case that is Kawhi. Or not Kawhi, that's that would be Steph. So it's actually wrong of you to give it to Andre no matter what. So because everybody's salty, like, oh, we don't want to give it to Steph because we want to give it to LeBron, but fine. But then don't give it to fucking Andre Iguodala. He said that all surprised, like.
We see these teams face off only twice a year. Last year, each won one.
Well, if I had a calendar, I would have circled this one. But I love it when they get together. Last year, they split the two games.
Yeah, see, that's what a player like Drew should be able to do to Steph every time, but they don't take advantage of him enough. Remember the time when Kyrie Irving outplayed the unanimous MVP in the finals in 2016? That's the real difference. Forget about the fact that LeBron played so great. It's the fact that Kyrie literally outplayed Steph in that series. That doesn't mean that he's better. It just means, you know, that particular series, Steph was obviously off. I thought he would go all the way with it. Yeah, let's try to play some good D. Oh, we give him way too much space there. He always gets those sneaky steals that you don't even really deserve credit for as a player. I'm kind of forcing it with Porzingis a little bit. You would think that height advantage, he should be averaging 50 points a game, because this is what people talk about with Wilt's height advantage. Hey, that's all it should take. Draymond Green's fucking tiny.
That's the aggressive part of Andrew Wiggins coming out of him, forcing the defender that time to get his hand in there.
And over a long regular season, Grant, what are some of the things coaches do to keep things fresh and their players engaged?
Well, you said it best. It is a long season, and to keep it light, you have to have team outings and dinners and guest speakers.
That contest was kind of meaningless though, because that's just like a tiny dude. He's got the 3-point icon. But sometimes he'll make it even. Oh my god, even under that. What was that icon? Like a green bucket? I don't know what all these different ones mean. Like the exclamation point. Trying to force it with Porzingis is just too much, but. You should be able to make it because you have the mismatch. Fuck.
Don't want to let him get into a rhythm from out there.
And Boston calls time here.
Like, we played perceptibly pretty good defense. That means 5 points in the quarter, but. Or that's how busted some of these things end up becoming, like my team. You end up scoring as much. Like, oh, how many points did you score? Oh, we scored 100. Oh, that's normal for an NBA game. But, oh, wait, we're doing it in like half the time or less than half the time.
Just under 3.5 minutes.
So Porzingis is fucking me up over here.
Here's Brown. Thompson.
Okay, I'm kind of forcing it.
And so Thompson.
He's going to shoot it.
Golden State. And Pritchard pulls it down.
His touches left him in this quarter nowhere close to the kind of from him.
Down low. Back to Brown.
Fuck, I can't do anything. Just use the cheese dunk animation that almost isn't deserved.
Slam from Brown. I like when he doesn't settle for a layup there. Out to the wing. And here's Sharage for three.
Okay.
Oh, can't get it. Misses his first attempt. Pass to Horford. Back to Pritchard. Here's Cornette. He's defended by Looney. Out to the right wing. Outside. Brown.
What?
Oh, and a fast break for the Warriors. Strong defense followed by some smart offense. That's just good fundamentals.
Come on, just you're so slow, dude. That was always the tried and true cheese. You could just do these full court fast breaks, everything. 7 seconds or less, Mike D'Antoni style. Offense. So bad, man. You always got to change some setting for that or something, because the bigs never help. They always commit and just never help you when somebody gets by. Yeah, this is actually wrong, though. They've turned, unless this is how Jaylen Brown apparently plays now, he was always more smooth and finesse with layups and stuff. He wouldn't just be dunking it every time like that. Or you would have to be a little more smooth. What? Yeah, we're making the Warriors look a little bit too good now. But yeah, they try to make these like pseudo little story modes directed by Spike Lee, like kind of crazy shit. In this my career and stuff, so we should maybe do that. Play it as like a single player story game, and it can be permadeath. Like if I lose a single game ever, I have to delete my character.
Oh, what I love was that first quarter was all about leaking out and capitalizing in transition.
It felt like they knew that there were openings in transition and just wanted to keep trying to feed them.
What is that?
And that's out of bounds. Golden State will retain possession. Curry.
Okay. Wait, that was a 2 though.
Got his first basket.
So fast off the catch, Curry sometimes downright impossible to guard.
Pass to Tatum. Cornette in the post. Back to Tatum. Another shot.
Whatever, just fucking cheeses in the paint. I don't know how the hell he made that.
For a three-point play here.
Having added so much strength, Tatum can take the contact and stay balanced.
Celtics making a switch here. And that one
Yeah, some players you could never predict. Like even people look at Giannis. Oh, he had a nickname, the Greek Freak, even before he came in the league. Like there was that guy called Baby Shaq, who turned out to not be like any good or anything,
Facility is also
or didn't even like make the league.
so it makes it very easy for
But
day after day and night
you know, Giannis wasn't nearly as big and strong coming into the league as what he is now. So he put in all that work to be able to do that.
Horford can't hit.
You would have never been able to predict that. So even I was skeptical. Like, why does this guy have a nickname when he hasn't even done anything?
After this one. Here's
A lot of these guys get hyped up a little bit too much.
Here's Curry. With the tip.
Okay.
Hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance point.
Why is Porzingis so useless this game?
aggressive on the offensive glass, and that kind of activity is doing a good job gaining them some bonus points.
Okay, look at that. Little smooth moves. It's almost like Tatum and Brown has reversed a little bit. Some of the smooth stuff that Tatum would used to do for me is now going to be... But everybody's just dunking it too much. They just turned the dunk sliders up way too high in this game.
Quarter two and about 2 minutes in. Oh, and
Okay.
floater by Curry.
At least this feels more believable that Curry would be cooking you at this point. Unlike what they're doing with LeBron was just totally cheese.
Reds are keeping them close. This has been highly competitive.
Pass to Kuminga. The kick out. Curry
Yeah, you should never do that.
drains the triple. Curry's got 7 points.
I mean, just so easy for Curry to get that three off. Beautiful shot.
Outside Tatum.
Just too easy with that. Like, what the fuck? Even I'm getting pissed by it. 26, 4, and 9. He's a lot better passer than that 4 would actually show you, though. Which, again, as a coach, I would do it like that. I would make him like the point forward Scottie Pippen type, and I would make Jaylen Brown the primary scorer, which naturally is what should happen anyway, but we need Drew Holiday on Curry. That's really what's going to do it for us.
Man, you watch Drew Holiday, Brent. This guy is so tough, physically.
What was that delay, dude? What was that?
The secret is out on Drew Holiday, especially after the way he played in the NBA Finals. This guy is the best defensive perimeter player on the floor, unselfish, and what a great backcourt partner.
A moment to hear from Ali LaForce.
Everything is just get a cheese dunk animation. Either that or you just miss. That's kind of how this has been going.
Being able to see and read the game. Our offense has been able to take leaps by understanding the game and what they want to take away and just letting the
Oh, you could have easily got that.
Yeah, that's been the key. Thanks, Al. Here's Wiggins. And he was fouled while in the act of shooting, so he'll take 2 free throws.
Amazing how both of those players just tanked it though so hard. Poole and Wiggins. They were looking like, oh, these guys are going to be the future. And that was the dumbest trade ever. Or the dumbest acquisition ever, that they got Chris Paul. It's like, we need somebody younger to give Curry some rest sometimes, or to help, you know, carry on the tradition. And we're going to get somebody older than Curry to do it.
But at least they're tied up.
Inside, White gets it to go.
Well, an outstanding floor general right
9 for 21, but they can always do that and still cheese you with the threes.
and a great feel for when guys are open.
Joseph.
What? Are you... That's one thing that you know you're playing a video game. Draymond Green actually scores in a game.
Be a wake-up call to the defense.
It's a wake-up call in a different way than you would think.
Outside Tatum. JB off the bounce. And the shot is
All these commentators getting hyped and glazing like Victor Wembanyama. There's like some clip saying that, like, oh, anytime he does anything, they're yelling his name and
Here's Thompson.
losing it.
Boston with a rebound. They've got the Rockets ahead of them next in Houston. That'll be the second of
All you have to do is do that. Just like play fast and then stop for a second, and their brain will short circuit.
Defense is really clicking now.
shot and game clock separated by 5.
That's a backcourt. That's a backcourt violation.
From 19. Here's Looney. Oh, Looney with the smooth move inside.
See, like that's them getting way too hyped. Looney with the smooth move inside, dude. It's just a basic offensive rebound. It's not a big deal.
Over to the left wing. It's
What?
Looney.
Some of these things are confusing me.
On 3, fast break. Thompson shot is off.
I wonder how the rating exactly works, as it takes into account, like, obviously Curry's and Clay's three-point rating is going to be very good, but like as far as the distance, like certain players like Damian Lillard can just make stuff like that, even like way further out, where like it's not considered a bad shot, as a great defender Paul George would call it.
Were discussed during halftime.
I like this Holiday matchup on him a little better, but I'm not playing it very well.
And a deep 3 from Curry.
Deep and fading.
It's never easy from
So you deserve to get punished for that. One thing we don't see people doing much is trying to take charges really here.
Make it, but that's warm-up, so maybe just a step too far.
Okay, let's try to get some distance here. We're not playing very good defense though.
Day and age, don't you need both?
No question, BA, you definitely do. I mean, we've seen plenty of great defenses flame out in the playoffs.
Look at how cheese, man. At least let me get some layups with JB. I'm only getting
Need a balance.
dunks. Everything is a dunk.
Terrific dunker.
Man, born to fly, that's for sure. Here's Thompson. And 2
Yeah, that's fine. Thompson's been obviously streaky a little bit.
Celtics on offense. They lead by 4.
You're not going to finish that.
Curry lets the 3 fly.
I just do it almost as a moral thing, like how players sometimes keep their hands up even after a shot attempt is made.
Possessions. Pass to Tatum. Oh,
Green is such a clown, man. They just give them these transition, take, foul. Oh yeah, I forgot that that's the thing. Which I don't even understand what that means. Like, just as soon as you rebound it, you're not supposed to do that. Fuck. What was that? He keeps falling for like the same thing. Nobody ever learns.
One-handed jam. Simple and effective, BA.
Hey, with the lead, I'm surprised you didn't come up with something a little more creative.
Yeah, Drew Holiday can lock your ass down, Curry, dude.
Team of the decade, Grant.
Oh, I mean, BA, think
Fuck.
about it. 6 finals.
Porzingis is just a liability here. Like, I wouldn't mind playing as this team as we go on a crazy streak here, I'm sure, but why is he so fucking useless? He's not playing good defense. He's not hitting shots. Maybe I'm forcing it, but I'm even giving him like preferential treatment a little bit.
Really took a hit.
You know, I agree, BA. And that's what they need to recover from. You know, keep
Doing a good job not letting him get the fade, but
is so crucial to winning.
boy, I wonder if I'm going to try to dunk it again.
Tatum with it. He's got 9.
I guess I won't.
Getting it done inside.
Man, that's now
Bro touch.
I'm not sure what's happened to their defense, man.
What? Oh, shit.
He can't hit that time.
Maybe there are ways to contribute that don't involve shooting the basketball. That's the best way that maybe he can help them out trying to win this game.
That's how you know you're bad, when even the commentator tells you not to shoot with fucking Curry.
Shot clock at 5. Out of bounds. It'll go to the Warriors.
Yeah, he just got bullied by Kevon Looney. Man, like, Porzingis is trying to throw, dude. He has a bet. He's using FanDuel Sports, sponsored fucking thing,
Minutes played here in the
to somehow bet against his own team here.
Thompson outside.
So bad.
Looney the screen. From
Yeah, I was right there, though.
offensive rebound.
Are you serious, bro?
Green able to hit from 3.
Draymond Green must be feeling good because no hesitation in that one there, letting it rip.
Yeah, even the coach knows to bring in fucking Al Horford, because you can't play like this, dude. Come on.
Thompson with the block.
Really?
Left side Green.
Dude, if you let Green score,
Now here's Wiggins. Hounded by Tatum. The 3 from Thompson.
yeah, Thompson's been pretty cold.
Hate to say it, but if there's
Almost as cold as Porzingis over here. Like, you have it, dude. You have it.
be felt by
What is wrong with him?
just been atrocious.
Okay, I'm gonna stop trying to use him. He's just clowning it up. Every time he touches it, something bad happens. They mistakenly switch the it's like
Minutes gone by.
whatever what they do in Space Jam, where
And stolen by Holiday. Now the Celtics on the move. Here's Brown. Misses
Damn
close
it.
range.
like where the mojo gets sucked out of them. So basically, they've confused Draymond Green with this dude here, with Porzingis. They swapped their stats because he's absolutely useless, and Draymond Green actually hit a 3, so something must be up.
Here's Brown. Tried to bank it in, but it misses.
How is that not a foul, dude? You end up on the fucking floor.
He'll bring it up.
They're calling him a flopper, I guess.
Their defense has only allowed 6 points in the second half.
Getting the back block, like he's just
Horford. The Celtics
booty tapping you there in the middle. Stuff like fouls and timeouts are always weird in these formats of like how you.
There's 47 seconds left for the third.
Oh wow.
Curry, what a shot maker.
Well, he's 1 for 5.
You were just saying, what a shot maker, he says. He was just saying maybe he can help his team by not shooting.
Just a little bit. Maybe the next open look will start him up.
This is not a lineup that I like, really, but.
Now Brown. Shot clock at 6. Deflected. For the lead. Easy
All right.
money for Stephen Curry.
Their ball
Makes no fucking sense, man.
It's led to a lot of good, clean, open looks.
Pritchard gets it to go.
Very little resistance around the rim right now. That's the 5th straight bucket they've given up in the paint.
To the middle. To the wing, right side. Off target from three-point range.
Blocking that shit. You gotta make it interesting, but this is kind of sad. Especially when you look at how bad the Warriors are in reality. Not even really because of injuries either. This should be a bit of a mismatch, despite them jacking them out with the rating. But they would always keep people out for too long going into the fourth. Like, now they'll still have the subs from the bench.
Back to Pritchard. Horford outside. Pass to Cornette. 5 to shoot. Here's Tatum.
Okay, you can always do that when you have a smaller guy on you. Just kind of phase through their body because that's how it works in real life.
In that respect, they've been the more aggressive team.
Here's Curry.
Okay, just gotta take advantage of that.
On the wing, Tatum.
Tease it with the dunks, which you can just do all day. Like, I haven't even shot too many threes or anything. Or I kept trying to with Porzingis, but it won't let me.
You can see guys getting in tune. It's not about playing harder. Sometimes
I feel like he's not even getting the releases particularly right, though. That's why I don't like him benefiting from this as much.
And he makes it on the layup. Tatum's got 6.
Yeah, Brown isn't really what I like because...
Game plan. That's 10 points in a row from in close.
What?
Buries it from 3.
Brown isn't really playing the way that I like.
Outside Tatum. Pass to Cornette. That falls. Nice feed that time from Tatum. And the Celtics lead.
Can we just not let him shoot then?
Yeah, their defense is starting to wear down. That's 3 straight buckets at the rim.
And here's Curry for 3. The rebound, Celtics.
This has been a close game in a lot of
Just
ways.
cheese it with Tatum. I don't even feel bad about it. He cheeses it with Curry. I cheese it with Tatum. He's copying that LeBron thing where he did the little... He used to do that like with the Heat, I think. I don't know what exactly it means, but he just like pushes both hands down.
Getting a breather here.
Like you're bringing down the house or something.
This is where you have a chance to get rehydrated with some Gatorade. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Allie LaForce.
I was able to listen in on what Steve Kerr had to say.
Really? Or no, that's Wiggins. I thought that was Clown Green, Donkey Clown Green. I like that comment too. This is what one of my friends always is up to. I haven't been this excited to see a donkey since Shrek 2,
Pass to Porzingis.
when either KD or somebody was seeing him for the first time in a long time.
Porzingis punishing inside.
Really? That's like his first basket of the game, though. Don't get too excited.
Green.
He would have missed that in real life. Donkey Green.
that's a tough one there from Draymond Green. As tough as they come.
Here's Holiday.
Weird angle shot, but I'm just cheesing it. But when you get into this cheese zone, you can't let them cheese you back by basically letting you...
He's off on that one.
Well, you make strides to get back in the ball game, but an errant shot like that can definitely cost you any kind of momentum.
You know, by letting them score too. I mean, it's just total cheese. I don't like how I'm playing. I'm not playing good defense. Breaking the rule of the 10, whatever. 10 per quarter type of thing.
White with the steal. Fast break. Here come the Celtics. Here's Brown. Buries it down low.
Weird as well there.
And now an 8-point Celtic lead.
It's just not the smoothness of movement maybe that I was expecting.
Hustle game has been going for the Celtics.
Yeah, just fuck you, dude.
Yeah, they've collected an impressive number of steals so far, using fast.
Yeah, see, like that. Like, keep going. He's going to stop you at the one side of the rim, so keep going and then do it.
They've been finding blocks. They're focused on strong rim protection.
No, don't let him have shit, dude.
Opposing team's offense.
Looking to end the run. Out to Thompson. Fires
You know what he's going to do. You know what he's going to do. Losing confidence in his shot, though. What?
makes that 3 look so easy.
This is like the real life reaction the players have. Like, what? How do you make some of this shit?
See if it continues to work out.
It's one thing to have teams shoot a bunch of threes, but with this team being that hot defensively, you gotta chase them away from anywhere near that line.
Oh, really? You got to chase the Warriors away from the three? Who would have thought? But I'm not playing it maybe like that
Trail by 7.
enough.
The 3 is up. Offensive rebound. And it's Tatum with the ball.
I mean, now you have it just on time, but
Led by as much as 10. Here's Porzingis.
I mean, look, dude, you have the height advantage. I don't care how good of a defender you think Draymond is, but he's like a positional player, like a help defender, team defender.
Looking unlikely right here. That time ticking away.
To the paint. Here's Tatum. Excellent D there from Wiggins.
And they have to know that any hope of a comeback is gone.
Well, realistic at this stage of the game, they're going to lose this one, but will they take something from the loss?
Here's Thompson.
Okay, fine. We'll just dribble it out. So we went undefeated somehow, even though some of those games I didn't play too well, or part of it comes into. I like how the commentators contradict themselves too. He's like, "There's no chance of a comeback," and now, oh, he cuts the lead to 5. Excitedly, like it's actually going to be
That's his first foul.
salvageable here somehow.
That's just poor clock management defensively.
Fuck.
And Boston has possession.
Through NPC commentators that they always think the game is still in question there. They don't understand the concept of just dribbling it out. So we unlock the second tier. 18. 4 for 7. 2 for... Yeah, Thompson was just fucking cold. Pretty fitting for this year. Tatum keeps ending up being my leading scorer, but I still prefer Brown. But see, I made like 0 threes. 0 threes, but he can't figure out how to defend it. And even if that's like a sense of honor, that like, oh, I'm trying not to be a three-point cheeser, the fact of the matter is, it's just not. Some of those were maybe good, and I should have made them. Or I'm not used to the releases and stuff. I guess. Yeah, 100% win percentage, 7-0. One of those I feel like I won extra, like in tier 2 in the freshman tier. We didn't lose any teams. We played as the Celtics. We played as the Hawks, and we played as the Nets. I almost want to take a look at my team, but that's probably going to take too long. Like, I don't even have to play in it. I guess I can just see how it works or see which one you get to choose as, like, your first thing. Don't do this. Or I guess it's worth it seeing it the first time, but they always have these weird, like, low resolution type shit, too. But see, what's more fun is to play...
Of your dreams. Here, you choose your lineup, and you choose how to play. Collect the legends of the game. How would you build around them?
We might see some bent rims tonight, right? With the duo of Zion Williamson and Vince Carter on the floor at the same time. Buckle up.
Or try to take them down with their greatest foes. Compete and earn to build your collection with the stars from the past, present, and future. Now select your team of choice to receive your starter kit, the foundation you need to begin your journey.
What I hate about this is
My team.
there's too many versions of players that don't exist, or too many jacked out ratings that don't even match the ones that they would have in like historic teams. Like, oh, the best version of Shaq had actually like a good 99 3-point shot or 90 3-point shot in my team, right? In some of these games, but the best version of Shaq in any of the historic teams or in any real life team would never be good at 3-point shots. Like, have them be good at what they do, but I don't know where they got the idea that that's fun to do. Like, where they're just good at everything. That's kind of dumb. Celtics, Clippers. I guess I'll do the Clippers just because of how much I like. But see, it's going to be like historically, right? Like 13 players, 5 Mavericks players. Like, it's not current players. This is all throughout the history of the game. So what would be a team that I would really like? Maybe I'll still do Clippers though, just for the meme of how stupid it is that I keep picking them and I keep getting screwed by injuries. It seems like a horrible pick, though, when you consider the fact of the history of the game. Like, unless you give me Kawhi. JJ Redd. Or no, I guess you could get Chris Paul, Blake Griffin. There's a lot of good things. But yeah, there's so many contrived mechanics in this that I don't like. It was so much simpler back in the day. Like, 2K14 is maybe not even old enough, but that was so fun because it's like, yes, there were still microtransaction elements in there, but it didn't feel as bad. Right? It's just gotten worse and worse over time. You got Patrick Beverly, Malik Monk. But a lot of these aren't even Clippers players. I don't get it. It's just random. Crypto Arena. I mean, everybody always makes fun of the Clippers because obviously of the shared thing with the Lakers, but it's just kind of all it would take is like one championship to make you feel like, yeah, imagine your base jersey being considered like bronze, like the Pistons jersey should be bronze because they're just so bad. Like, why should the cosmetics matter that way? Jason Kidd, head coach, is okay. I think Nash was really disappointing as what did I always put for this? I had like some kind of I don't know, actually. We should, oh yeah, let's do Seattle. Because they don't have a team, so it's like we're representing. Oh yeah, I would do like, I think Undertakers or something. I don't know why. Fucking like a wrestling term or something. That's kind of like a cool name for a team, I guess. Seattle Undertaker, so you can go like Sud. Or should I guess it's like, okay, you can do 3 letters, although or no, it's not Sud, it's Sut. That doesn't sound quite as good. I'm not even gonna play a game, or maybe I should log in all 7 days. All this kind of fucking mobile game type bullshit to try to psychologically condition you to keep coming back. But yeah, they kind of ruined how this works to whatever extent it was ever good. Just like, it's not even about whether you have the best cards or not. It becomes a power creep issue again, like where I don't want a version of Michael Jordan who's a great 3-point shooter because there was never such a version. Or like a Rondo, everybody's just too good at everything. Or like there's these players who were never that good, like Thon Maker is a fucking Galaxy Opal who's like a busted card or something. It just becomes kind of farcical and stupid where they should still resemble their real life counterparts. So yeah, sure, they might dominate in particular areas, but they shouldn't be. When do we get to actually use the auction house or whatever? Pack market multiplayer. You always have to like unlock it somewhere along the line. But I forget. Pack market, player market, directly acquire players. Look into the player market here. You can directly add players to your collection. Acquire individual players, grab a whole set. Be sure to check out Daily Deal of the Day. So like, are these being sold by other people, or is this just... I don't get it. Or maybe they're gonna kind of contrive and control this too. Like, even if these are insanely expensive, at least it gives you something to work towards. Or like, see, Dwayne Wade, I would love to get just because that was like my first one. Or a 91 Shaq. Which Shaq was arguably never a 91 on the fucking... Yeah, see, like, some of these cards are so dumb. When was there a version of Ron Artest that was ever better with the... If you take it literally, which, of course, this is all just fantasy bullshit, but, like, a better version of Ron Artest than there was of Shaq on the Lakers. Trade... Where would it even show the auction house? I guess it just won't show it until I unlock it. Let's see, what do I even have? Salary cap. How do I even see? Okay, lineups. We got 3, 5, and 13. You can create 10 lineups. Here's where you'll make lineup changes. You need to pick one for each position. Click here to see if you're covered. So let's see. I mean, they're all going to be garbage, so why should I even bother? But salary cap. And then you have to pay a certain amount every game, obviously, to them. Or maybe not. Maybe that's just like a other mechanic. Because that seems like way too much. You'd have to pay 1,300 for a fucking single game. Kobe Brown. If Kobe and Kwame Brown fuse together, this is what you would get, which shows you how bad Kwame Brown is to hold him down and balance it out that way. Vucevic here. But see, everybody's just going to be bad instead of somebody being a specialist. Like, JJ Redick should have a really good three-point shot, but that's not how these actually work. Right? Like, oh no, it is A-, so maybe it's not as bad as I think. But normally they would have, like, where if you have a bronze player, they're just bad at everything instead of being a specialist, which they would often be in real life. They'll be good at one or two things and bad at everything else. And then if you have a, you know, a diamond player or whatever, Galaxy Opal, they'll just be good at everything, even if they weren't in real life. So if we just go by sheer rating here, you would see, I don't know. You do not have any available players. Okay, so you have 69 there. Kyle Kuzma, who I do like. I went on this streak where I would cheese with him like crazy in online quick match a couple years ago, where maybe many years ago, where like he would be my leading scorer. I always have these weird ways where it's somebody you wouldn't expect, like even Kevin McHale. Not that he's bad at all, he's just not. I guess the most we could do is just move them around, but let's just assume that's what we want to do. Let's just maybe play one game for the fuck of it. Salary cap is actually the name of the mode. Each player has a salary that changes throughout the season. Team salary 8,200. Build a team with a combined total salary under the cap. Play online. Maybe that'll restrict some of the bullshit that you can do. Because if like this is already 8,200, you wouldn't be able to fit too many Galaxy Opal crazy shit in there anyway. Let's just see if this is even a thing we can do here. But everybody's already going to be jacked out. You know, at least if you play it, I found that was a little more fun, at least whenever I would play it right when it would first come out. Then at least it's more fun because, yes, people are still going to try hard to some extent, but they're not, or like even at that point, there won't be a lot of really at the top cards, top players released, right? Like even the best ones available won't be that busted, whereas by now they'll be super busted, and by the end of the game's lifespan, by the time, you know, September or whatever, it's going to be completely busted. So it's amazing that they can't see that the sim element of it would be so much more fun, where you get to, you know, mimic players' actual specialties and stuff from real life. Maybe it won't even work here. Imagine JJ Redick being your best player, who I think Flight would always call him a bust. Like, he's one of the biggest busts ever, but he was still a good player, but maybe he was the #1 pick, so he was expected to be a little bit better than that. Than just like a role player, obviously. This is always kind of fun, where you get to kind of, you know, you got to learn your players' releases and get really attached to them and stuff like that. Although the whole upgrade mechanic of the cards and stuff can be kind of silly. Okay. We should have just looked in that to see who we were even playing against, to see if it's some sort of broken matchup. Dynamic duo, 97-97. Imagine equating Pippen to Jordan. That's going to trigger a lot of people right there. But, no, I mean, the way they make the cards in this mode is so dumb. It really makes no sense at all. Even just on the basic level of, I don't know. What? Wait, what's happening? Is it just bugging out, or these shouldn't be counting as losses? Like well, this isn't even part of the permadeath thing, but round 1, 5 days left, 0-0. What the fuck is going on? Every game is just bugging out. least for fighting matches. K staff. It's going to be one of the staff at 2K. You got Luca, Mavs role player over here. Oh, here we go. Doesn't mean you can't potentially still win these, but this is the kind of team you love to see.
Tip-off goes to Seattle.
So how exactly are they under the salary cap here, dude?
Kuzma outside. Pass to Monk.
You could play it perfectly, but you're still gonna get fucked in some way. That's amazing.
Gallo with the rebound.
I don't know why he shot it like that.
RJ, one of the few NBA players from
Why is the camera like this?
He's in a pretty exclusive
Not that I mind it, but
players. Just 4 players coming from there. All of them since 2006. I love it when we get new players from new countries.
now Vucevic should theoretically be able to shoot. But he could figure out my strategy very easily here.
second chance shot.
Just in the sense that, like, I'm only going to shoot inside. So if you stop me from doing that, I can't do anything. I'm not willing or able, or even my players aren't probably able to shoot threes. Aside from maybe Redick. I mean, that was contested. Good defender, Patrick Beverley.
From 3. First quarter still, but not who you want to leave open.
I'm surprised he even made that.
In his first shot this game.
And how about Monk there scanning the floor for the open teammate? That's how you develop trust from your team.
I mean, it should be an easy win for him, but I'm not going to think like that. I can still figure something out. I can out-cheese him.
And Seattle with the ball. Philadelphia getting
Coach boost.
And there's the call on Roy. That is his first foul of the game. And Philadelphia making a change here.
Once he gets the idea that I don't really feel like
They double him with Jokic. Outside for Redick.
shooting jump shots, then you'd feel better. He is an A-, so I don't know what to tell you there. I was off a little bit on the release. I don't like that matchup though of him on Luca.
You're moving the ball around.
Yeah, what I don't know what the salary cap exactly means because
Just outside. No good there off the double clutch.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a
who is this? Kyle Kuzma
Now here's Kuzma. Here's Monk.
is liable to go off sometimes. Like, got to be a little crafty here, but again, it's too predictable.
especially
I'm not going to have the confidence to shoot. You got to at least have a couple specialists in here.
pulling the trigger from inside.
Okay.
No one near Doncic as he lets it fly.
That's where you'll get kind of bailed out too. Like, you'll get a ton of offensive rebounds to no credit of your own as a player, just because your players are better.
Kuzma outside. Pass to Beverly. Back to Redick. For the three.
Nice.
One's in. His
3-pointers made, 55, 50.
And the timing and rhythm with which Redick
He's my star, I guess. I mean, it's just still worth it to look at it like that if you have
Levine. Another miss by Philadelphia. Beverly with the ball.
the ability to... Oh, I had somebody open, actually.
Corner, it's Monk. Offline with
Yeah, you shouldn't fall in love with the threes too much, though.
by 4.
You're not going to be able to outshoot or do anything to him.
He's simply, Greg, one of the best players in the entire game.
no question about it. He's
See what Kuzma can do over here. Not much, apparently.
time he takes the floor. As versatile and dangerous a player as there is in our league.
Outside, Redick.
Imagine leaving the one guy who can actually shoot open, but the problem is
Here's Philadelphia.
I'm not getting the release at all.
Been struggling here on offense.
Or you should almost not even feel bad about doing like a CPU type of defense here, but
There's the three. Finds the hole for the second time from the floor. Now 2 for 4.
okay.
And Doncic used to creating kind of a luxury for him to simply catch and shoot.
Damn it.
Jokic with the steal.
All these kind of moments that you can't do anything about because they're going to be... You can't let them get any momentum like that. You have to play really slow.
There's a minute 47 left here in the first half. And Kuzma has it in the corner. Redick with it. And it's Iguodala picking him up. Back to Kuzma.
Trying to give Kuzma some love, but he can't do anything. None of these players are very offensively gifted, except you probably still should have made that.
So it's Philadelphia now. Here's Levine. And Levine with the slam.
Okay.
Kuzma sets a screen to the paint. Looking to end the run.
Good little fake. Okay, okay, dude.
Philadelphia leading by 3. And their offense is really clicking right now.
Playing with a lot of energy and really
They're not up by much. I don't know why my back is hurting so much.
To Doncic.
Kind of a good way to test this position, too. So that's one problem with it, at least.
The shot, so he'll
It's so random.
and so confident. Even amongst the trees, Doncic is fantastic at forcing the issue close to the rim.
and Seattle making a change.
He's always one of those deceptive players, like Larry Bird. Like, he's slow, he's unathletic, so how is he so good?
On the wing, Monk. Pass to Vucevic.
There's so many things you can't do. You're not going to be able to post people up effectively or anything.
Now Beverly.
You get bailed out by a foul.
Officials on the call with the foul.
And throughout his career, Beverly has remained
Everybody's getting tired.
an aggressive defender that no one likes.
Wait, first half?
Well,
Oh, is he going to be just... Wait, what?
last guy you expect to miss the mark by that much.
That would be kind of dumb if it's only two
Oh, here's Doncic. 10 points for him.
quarters, basically.
15 seconds left here in the first half of the game. Pass to Kuzma. And Philadelphia.
Oh my god, so many near makes that just don't materialize.
And that would have counted, but his shot was off the mark this time. So that'll be it for the first.
Oh, that's lame, though. They made it too short then, unless the quarters are longer and I just didn't notice. Why would they do that? That's such a random change.
9 to 1 run.
So it's going to be only...
When we return,
Oh, why did they do it like this? Target score 38.
pass to Doncic.
What? What the fuck did they do to this?
He makes the bucket, gets the whistle, and now a 3-point play chance here for him.
That could go on forever. How can you force people to score a certain amount? What if you're just playing lockdown god tier defense? This is like the base mode. It's not like I chose some different mode for this.
Their offense has been a well-oiled machine. They're moving the ball around, playing for one another, and just piling up assists.
And also, gotta be impressed with their
Yeah, I mean, it's too predictable that you're going to try to score inside because that's the only thing you can do. I did make like 1-3, but
Back to Doncic. To the inside. Here's Jokic. Clock at 6.
yeah, even the salary cap thing gave me hope that maybe somehow it wouldn't be so bad.
Doncic left side.
That you wouldn't even be possible to do some of these teams.
And it's Doncic missing.
He's not really playing all that well, though, considering.
Some nice ball movement here by Seattle. Here's Redick. That one good for 2.
Is that just because he's meant to be the best
Just an outside shooter. Redick also
player on my team? Like, somehow he's able to make that when in real life he wouldn't even be able to? At his best.
Stolen by Redick. Powell inside. Unable to get that
Fuck.
one. Great D that time from Roy. Philadelphia leading by 4.
He's not really playing that great, but I mean,
Right side.
I hate using having better players and better team as an excuse, but I mean, if ever it would be an excuse.
Three-pointer. Seattle grabs the miss.
not quite enough defense. That time around, just lucky he was off.
Pass to Plumlee. Plumlee with the screen. And he
Yeah, that's just a mismatch. I thought somebody would come to help, and just nobody did.
Hard work.
We're still keeping it close.
Worked hard to create that high quality shot, and
That's one of those where like you're just in their vicinity and they somehow didn't even give me a shot meter or anything. And I thought it would be more like a pull-up 3 opportunity. But it makes it too obvious who I'm going to be trying to do that with. Right, I don't trust anybody else's shot. I don't even really trust his shot, but... That's surprising. Actually, he didn't make that. Okay, we still managed to tie it. Do we really have to go till 38? This is so lame. I'd rather be based on time. 6 for 22, this guy. Yeah, go ahead. Just rage quit out with the far superior team. Kuzma's not really doing anything for me. Like, probably losing a 4-on-5. He's quitting out, even. Or no, he's not. Like, should it really even be this close, though?
Gotta find easier shots when you're already struggling. That's not gonna get it. Now, Vucevic. Back to Kuzma.
I don't really trust Vucevic even here either. I'll have to look at his actual rating, but
Great D that time from Powell.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that.
I'm kind of forcing it. I don't know what I'm doing. Everybody's tired. We're playing good defense, all things considered, or he's just not playing good offense, but as soon as I say that. Oh. Yeah, imagine gold being the best type of player in the game. So simple. Gold, silver, bronze, all these other random things. Wow, it's unbelievable he actually made that.
And you have to tip your cap to Kuzma. He absorbs contact well and knows how to adjust his shot.
Down low. And it's Stoudemire with the jam.
Imagine how bad you would have to be, though, to have this team and still struggle against a clown like me. And everybody's tired, but I guess I can't afford to sub them out because he was open, but then you get bumped so much. I mean, Redick isn't exactly the type you want to be doing that anyway. Okay. Come on. I don't like the whole format of this though either. Like first to whatever score is kind of annoying. You even got him to jump, and now I'm almost gonna throw on purpose. I don't want to quit out, but I'm also kind of get the point. But you can see how you can keep it even competitive for a while. It's just like you need a little bit more than that. A little bit of shooters that you can trust, even if everybody was just a specialist, right? Like everybody can shoot threes and do nothing else. You can make something of it, or everybody's big and they can post up or something. Yeah, we kept it so competitive, and then it just gets kind of annoying after a while. And I'm overestimating Kuzma a lot, and then as soon as I say that, he does something good. He would make all these weird kind of shots. I can't remember what game it was, but it's not like there was ever a version of him that was that good, but they already ruined a mode that they've already ruined, not only with the cards, but I love stuff like that. Like, why would Jokic even need to jump there He's tall enough like he could just stand with his hands up against somebody like Beverly, and he wouldn't need to even jump. Like the reverse Nate Robinson effect, where he blocks like Yao Ming or somebody.
They're on a 14-5 run here. Out to Chandler. Puts up a three. Kuzma pulls it in.
And even without that three ball dropping for him,
One hilarious celebration where he like jumps over Paul Pierce and Paul's like just keeps going and ignores him or something.
That's foul number 2 for him. Here's Reddick. Pass to Vucevic. Shoots it. The shot by Reddick, no good.
a little ambitious on that possession, trying to hit a shot in the face of that defensive pressure.
Yeah, this is a mode that maybe I won't do too much. I just want to see what it's going to be like, and it is weird that they've done this. Not really a good change to make, like the all-star game type of shit where you're trying to reach a certain score. At least it's them being sort of honest about the fact that this resembles an all-star game in the sense that it's such a clown show that nobody takes it seriously.
Makes that an easy shot.
Yeah, as soon as these guys feel contact, they are just disappearing like they're not even there. You gotta show some fire and keep defending.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Charlie Villanueva. That's his 3rd foul of the game.
Yeah, that's a tough call right there.
But yeah, since you can make like custom whatever
The shot by Reddick, no good.
things, I wonder if you could get banned for them, whether by 2K or maybe you'll get banned on Twitch for showing some sort of custom logo or name or some stupid thing on the ground.
Big miscommunication on defense. He recognizes it and quickly takes it.
Kuzma, can you finally do something good, dude? Yeah, at least that one's my fault.
Kuzma is a really hard matchup, forcing a foul there.
And he's good on the second.
I'm obviously sort of just throwing at some point here where I don't even care, but he didn't play it like particularly well or intimidating. And yeah, I'm not even a big fan of that. Like, why would you want it to be a fixed amount? This is like the whole Marvel Snap problem where it has to end in like a fixed period of time. Like, oh, you know, if the game ends and we both only score 10 points or 10 to 8 or something for whatever impossible reason, like, oh, we played such good defense or something, then so be it. Like, there's some sort of dynamic quality to that. Whereas, you know, like Marvel Snap, the game has to end in 6 turns, but like, why? So 0-1. I'm kind of confused. Clutch time online, triple threat, or maybe it's just unlimited. That would be more similar to that. Unless they're all going to be best to first to 38 or whatever. That's such a stupid mode, though. Okay, see you tomorrow.